Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, I just had my like desktop set to speakers rather than headphones, so it wasn't showing through on audio during the start and tune screen, so apologies. But yeah, hell yeah, we're back. We've got Pokemon coming. And I just had some like issues figuring out emulation, so that's why I was struggling. But let's give Carl a call. Carl said he's just hanging around tonight, so we'll give him a call and just see that little thumbnail for the Deadpool podcast that was not a Deadpool podcast. In a little chat.
What's that, sorry?
I could just see like the Deadpool thumbnail of like, oh yeah, we didn't talk about Deadpool during that podcast. Oh, we did a little bit.
We basically did.
Yes, we did. We did by association. Like, we didn't talk about the topic of Deadpool, but we talked about Deadpool. But yeah, I just like had that thing that I was dealing with yesterday of like, oh well, your save state on your emulator is not loading.
Fuck's sake.
And I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'll just try and just load through the menu. Oh, you haven't actually saved on Pokemon? I was like,
wait, what?
It's like I've made save states, but I haven't gone like in the Pokemon game. For like hours, I hadn't pressed like save profile.
Don't know where this is going.
So I was just like, oh no. So I was sitting there trying to like figure out online for a little bit, and because I'd updated my emulator, I had to go and download the version of the emulator that I'd last made a save state on, because save states don't work if you update your emulator. So I had to go figure out what version of the emulator I'd saved on, download that version and uninstall my current version, load up the save state, make a proper save, and then re-download the current version of the emulator. It's like, this kind of shit is why I don't do emulation stuff. It's like, this is why I just play on a fucking console.
Yeah, always go for original hardware, folks. This is why they don't emulate your GDQ.
Yeah, this is why I'm just like, you know what, fuck, it's so much easier to just like turn on a console and it just kind of works most of the time.
It's the joke you always make, isn't it? It's like, I want my rectangle.
Yeah, I just want a rectangle that does the job. Like, it might not be good, you know, like, emulation is good for plenty of things. I'm not espousing emulation or PC gaming. It's just, it's really nice when things are just simple and fucking work. Yep. And I don't have to spend half an hour Googling problems and trying to, like, diagnose the situation of, like, I'm not really familiar with emulation much, so, like, I didn't know that you couldn't just rely on save states. So yeah, I've got to just bear in mind in the future, like, don't rely on save states, actually keep saving your game, like. And so basically people's advice was use save states for, like, the day that you're playing. And then as you're signing off for, like, that, you know, that day of gaming, when you're making your sign off, like, actually make a proper hard save on the actual game itself.
Sounds like a much better idea.
Yeah.
Even still, just what a kerfuffle.
It is a kerfuffle is the right way to explain it. But yeah, that's why I'm just like, Carl, I'm sorry I'm like half an hour late. But it's just like...
That's fine, because I'm just sat chilling doing not much anyway, so...
But speaking of which, Carl, with, you know, speaking of like the opposite thing of like even my console not just fucking working, I figured out a workaround for my Resident Evil 2 speedrun not working on Xbox.
I bet the workaround is some absolute horse shit, so lay it on me.
So the workaround is, you know, like the little autosave, like just little circles that appear in the corner that like, we're autosaving now. If I notice, it's always at one spot late in the game when it's about to fail, and then the circles don't stop trying to do the autosave thing. And what I have to do is when I notice that, is pause, hard quit my game, restart my game, go back in. And there's 2 spots in the game where I have to do that. And there's 2 spots in the game where just seemingly guaranteed every time I do the RE2 speedrun on the Xbox, it's going to corrupt its save unless I hard quit out at that very moment. And then I'll just reload the autosave, keep going. Doesn't that sound like fun?
Is that satisfying, Lucas?
Isn't that just great? Like, for some reason, just like my life these past few days has been like, I don't like save files.
I think no one wants you to be able to save your game.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to do this differently than I normally do, because when I go into a Pokemon gym and it's like, oh, here's a quiz, I always purposefully fail the quiz so I can get as much XP. But with a Nuzlocke run, you kind of don't want to be doing that. You want to just be avoiding as many trainer battles as possible so that they can't fuck you over. That is a good point. How is the team going? Because it's a good job we checked.
Well, so tell me about like this run then so far.
So this run, we've just gone into the electric gym, and my starting Pokemon in my party was a Lapras. So,
oh, is it like a completely randomized one?
No. It's just that I'd not checked my team before we'd gone in. But half of my team is currently weak to electric Pokemon, so let's just walk back out and fix that. So currently the party that we have is a Lapras called Chatot. The Thumper that we got gifted, the Steelix from the trade. Padme, the Krokorok, not the Krookodile, the Krokorok, the mid-phase. We've got Turnip the Trapinch, who should
That's a good name for a Trapinch.
It is, yeah. Turnip was a good one. Little Turnip. So that should be evolving in like a level or two, because it's 34 at the moment. Then we have Gusset the Greninja, who was level 38, and then Ace, who is our Pidgeot that just evolved. Hi Alex, we're doing okay, thank you. Just making sure that half our team isn't weak to the gym type that we just walked into.
I get the feeling it might be.
Like, oh hey, it's an electric gym, what are you going to do? Well, I'm going to walk in there with like a water type to lead. I don't think this is a good idea, but okay. And I really like Lumio City as a city in terms of design. I hate how confusing it is to navigate. I really like the kind of... Oh, it's got all the cool side streets, and it's got, you know, the non-Eiffel Tower in the middle.
So I never minded this basically one is it where you just go in a big circle with all your Pokemon?
Mm-hmm. But just find it really difficult to just actually navigate and remember where all the Pokemon centers are. Oh shit. Okay. I'll tell you what. I haven't activated my fire. Yeah, I can't see that you've activated any rewards though, but I do need to activate my Firebot so that when you can activate them. Let's give it a test.
I forgot. I remember this one being quite fun. This was a Pokemon I didn't mind this one as much.
I quite liked it. The reward appears to be working for me, but obviously that might just be because I'm, you know, hosting the stream. But the test there appears to make it work for myself. But, yeah, I quite enjoyed this generation of like X and Y. I think it was a lot more simple compared to Black and White, but I still really enjoy the Pokemon and the region. I don't like Team Flare very much.
What does Team Flare want again?
So Team Flare want to, quote, make the world beautiful, but that's by, like, using the ultimate evil ancient weapon to like, destroy the world or some shit.
Do they not just, like, pick up litter?
It's like one of those stupid things of, well, how are you going to make the world more beautiful? By destroying it.
Great, thanks. Solid plan there.
Yeah. Because no ugliness can exist if nothing does.
It's a fair point, but it seems like a really
It appears your browser was being a crane, yeah, Ross. Yes, they want to hide in a bunker and nuke the surface, that's right, yeah.
I can respect it, in a way.
Mm-hmm. Like, I get your point, just... Also, is it really making the world more beautiful, or is it just fucking it up completely?
A little from column A, it's a little from column B.
Yeah. Tell you what, let's just give Thumper the amulet going. No,
You
it had
only-
a rocky helmet. That makes sense. Yeah.
That's what get paid, son.
So I did have a fun day though today, just trying my hand at a few more online rank battles.
Yeah, I saw that. Cause that's one of the reasons I was like, oh, because I was meant to be like meeting a friend for a drink tonight, but he's not well. And I saw you just like posting about like I've been battling. I want to talk to Lucas about his battling.
Yeah,
so I saw you like posting like I've been battling, folks. I've been battling.
I pulled off. I don't know what kind of win with my Sylveon where like they used a sunny day lead of like Torkoal and Walking Wake.
I don't know what Walking Wake does.
So it's the Suicune, like ancient Suicune dragon thing.
Oh.
And it's like the Torkoal admittedly did a lot of damage with like drought, like sunny day eruption on me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh no, because I led with Alolan Executor and Superior. And like I thought I could get the kill on the Torkoal, couldn't, then it basically annihilated my lead 2 Pokemon. And then I was like, oh no, this is bad. And then went through my Charger Bug as well, because for some reason I saw a Torkoal on the team and didn't think maybe let's not send 3 Pokemon in with Fire Weakness. So I made that mistake immediately. And yeah, then my Sylveon was just absolutely tanking hits and just blitzed its way through that entire team with like Terra Fairy Pixelate combo.
I just like the idea that Charger Bug's like, guys, avenge me.
It took a hit and survived and then boosted up the Sylveon with battery. So then just Sylveon started just like wrecking shop, and then Charger Bug died and Sylveon pulled off like a clutch kill on a poison Terra type Walking Wake that tried to Terra Blast it and kill it, and it had like 4 HP left.
I mean, you just felt like just such a don. Your penis got real big, I imagine.
Did. It was like that Charger Bug. Came in, did like 1 light screen, protected itself, and died. But just like between light screen and the battery power up, it just saved my Sylveon.
I just like that idea. Just this thing, Charger Bug just gonna be the one. It's gonna save you. Everyone's gonna make fun of your Charger Bug until they see Charger Bug coming in. Like, oh god, no.
Yeah, that little hamster, just no chance. But yeah, oh. Okay, so it's not getting the answer correct means no trainer battles, but it just means you only do the 1. Good. But yeah, what was the really, like, good one that got completely fucked by? Oh yeah! Like, I got completely rolled over by a team that was, like, a Regigigas and a neutralizing gas, Galarian Weezing.
Yeah, that's been a tactic. People always try and like make that work. They've been trying to make that work for ages, haven't they? Of, like just neutralizing gas. It's like, does make Regigigas work?
Yeah, and like the problem wasn't necessarily the Regigigas, but it meant that my Cinnamon didn't have skill swap.
Yep.
It meant my Arcanine didn't have Intimidate. I was like, what am I meant to do against neutralizing gas? Like, what the fuck?
It's one of those things where it's like, it seems like such a good ability, and the fact like 1 Pokemon has it is kind of crazy.
I mean, I'm kind of glad, because if a more powerful Pokemon had that shit...
Well, that's how it should be. Like, these weird, like, super powerful abilities should only be on Pokemon that are not great. Like, you should have to choose between, do you want the powerful ability or do you want the powerful Pokemon?
Exactly, yeah. And, like, I just was not expecting a neutralizing gas to come in. And just was like, all of my Pokemon are relying on their abilities, because I could have swapped in, but, like, I had a Protein Greninja and a Pixelate Sylveon. And it's like, all 4 of my Pokemon are really relying upon their abilities right now.
That's why it's a good tactic. I was saying, like, just seeing all those Pokemon, I'm surprised it doesn't get used more, even if just purely for the dickish shutdown.
Yeah, I've never really seen it be used, so I've never considered it. But, goddamn, yeah, that just... I was not ready to cope with neutralizing gas at all.
No one ever is.
All of a sudden, sending my Skill Link Pokemon out and it does 1 hit. I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean that Oh no, it did 2 hits, sorry, yeah, of course. But like, it did the minimum amount of hits, and I was like, I've got skill link on my Pokemon though. Like, it's guaranteed 5 hits every time, and then you remember, like, oh, neutralizing gas.
Lucas, you did have skill link.
Yeah, I used to have skill link. Cinnamon no longer has that skill.
It's like I've got skill link. It's like you used to, mate.
It's why I just need to play more and more and more online. There's just so many Pokemon to consider that sometimes people are just gonna pull out the back pocket. And I have done okay because I started, I think last week I was on, finished on about, I think it was like 16 matches, and I'd lost like 11 of them.
Yes, I've seen that you've been doing quite well.
Yeah, I've managed to, now I've done like, I think it's 34 matches, and I've won like 16 of those or something.
Is it most of it just coming from like now you're just learning the matchups and you're learning?
I'm just learning more tactics and matchups and stuff, yeah.
Which we talked about last time we did it. It's like that's what it's going to come to eventually. It's just once you've learned those, it's skill can negate a lot of issues in Pokemon, but at the same time, not a lot. Some of them just cannot be done. Like you can't do anything about Regigigas and the smoke.
That's the thing is, I focused on Regigigas initially, so I shut down Regigigas really quickly and killed it in like 2 turns. But I wasn't thinking about the neutralizing gas because I was just so focused on a Regigigas.
Yeah, that's the thing as well. You see that and you're like, I've got to take this thing down. So it's not even going to start steamrolling. It's just the steamroller's already there.
It's like it's already revved the chainsaw pre-match.
Like the steamroller's already on my foot.
Like you can't just ignore Regigigas. But then the problem is, like, you're ignoring something that's got just the complete shutdown ability. Yeah, it's just something very scary that I'd not considered previously is just neutralizing gas, so you do.
I like it as an idea. I think it's just a thing of like, you know what? Let's just play honestly.
But when they're honestly is like coming in with a Regigigas that no longer has slow start, oh no.
Yeah.
I don't
it's
like
not slow
this.
start, it's got fast start now. It's like Regigigas got his fucking like Adidas's on.
I don't
like
just going on a fucking rolling start when a Regigigas is in the battle.
It's like, it's not Regigigas anymore, it's Sonic. It's Sonic at the start of Sonic Adventure 2, just rolling start, let's go.
That's and stage, right? Oh dear. I think that was Pansage. Pansage. Yeah, that's another one. Like, imagine a team where it's like neutralizing gas, wheezing plus like slacking and Regigigas, and just even just another Pokemon with like an awful ability as well.
Nick, Slacking's like another Pokemon where it's completely neutered by it's like I can see the thinking of Slacking's got 2 good stats.
Oh.
We can't let this thing just attack first turn.
You could bring like a Klutz Pokemon in as well.
Yeah.
So because then the held item would work. Like you could bring in a Klutz Lopunny. And yeah, that's 3 normal type Pokemon. But that's still if you could just keep that Weezing alive.
Well, Weezing, you can make Weezing really bulky. He's got really good typing in like the Alolan version. It's like Poison Fairy, right?
Poison Fairy, I think, yeah.
She's like really good typing. It's got like pretty decent special defense. So that's the thing. I don't mind just while I'm off screen, just like helping you like build crafts. And I can see obviously I'm watching the stream with a bit of a delay, but I can see those gears turning in your head.
It's just like trying to figure out like, well, what kind of moveset could you, like, what kind of bullshit team could you build? And I've noticed quite a lot of Malamars as well. I
think Malamar, it's too
it's
cool
such a good
idea.
Utility Pokemon with both Skill Swap and Trick Room on it.
It's a shame that Contrary is not as useful, but I do like Contrary.
I mean, I've noticed, yeah, that people are particularly doing it with the Hydrapple because the Hydrapple has both access to Draco Meteor and Leaf Storm. So putting Contrary on that shit.
Ah, I see. So it's tricking Contrary onto something else.
skill swap Country onto a Pokemon that knows both Leaf Storm and Draco Meteor. So not only are you improving your special attack by 2 stages every turn, you have options as well.
So you can like use both. Ooh. So I've just checked both your Galarian Weezing. He has defense of 120. Special defense is 70, so not great. Its speed is 60. And it's its attack and special attack like 90 and 85, respectively. You could make it quite bulky, but it's got some good utility. It's got like...
I guess if you would as well only gave it attacking moves, you could just make it an Assault Vest Pokemon.
Yeah, you can make it Assault Vest. You can give it like... if you go for that, you've got Explosion. Sludge. Double hit for something. Heat Wave, so you can learn like, 85 base power. I already know that's, yeah. Galarian Weezing Heat Wave, so that's like it hits both Pokemon on the opposing team, has a chance to burn both, 95 base power, 90% accuracy. You can learn Haze, Aromatic Mist to increase the defense of your teammates. Self-destruct, obviously, there. What can it learn by TM in the new one?
Yeah, even thinking about it,
like Gunk Shot, Sludge Wave, Misty Explosion.
Misty Explosion?
Yeah, Misty Explosion, let's have a look what that does. I think it's when you're on misty terrain. Ah, yes. Inflicts damage and causes the user to faint under misty terrain if used on the ground. Its base power is 150.
Oh, shit. Okay. I mean, that's still not as good as just Explosion, but I guess that makes it better than Self-Destruct, maybe?
Yeah, because you'll get stab on it, won't you?
Hmm.
But yeah, Sludge Wave, Overheat, Hyper Beam, Thunder. You can also learn Toxic as well, because it's poison, so you can use it for that. And then by breeding, you can teach it Pain Split, Stockpile. You're going to get like defenses up. Like, you can make a bulky Galarian Weezing.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other abilities that, like, yeah, maybe Klutz isn't the best example. I'm just trying to, because there's the obvious ones of like Slacking and Regigigas.
Yeah, well, I think people would see that coming a mile off, wouldn't they?
Yeah, but it's hard to stop a Regigigas anyway.
It's hard to stop what I understand. Let's have a look.
Like, you can see what's coming, but can you stop what's coming? Oh, come on, don't hate yourself.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. There's not many like negative abilities.
I did find it quite funny though, because I did come across that Malamar Hydropple combo.
Yes.
And it used like the Hydropple comes in and it lowers your evasiveness. And then the Malamar uses Skill Swap and it lowers your evasiveness again. But one of my 2 Pokemon was superior with Contrary. So it was just raising my evasiveness every time it Skill Swap that ability. I was like, yep, so my superior just like avoided every attack it did from there on out.
That's pretty brutal. Is there a like could you use like Sweet Scent on your own superior to raise its evasion or something like
that? You could, yeah. Like obviously I know when people battle like Smogon rules, people are like, oh well, you can't change evasiveness. That's a game. Like, we don't allow evasiveness changing, but BGC you can. Ranked battles you can.
We're not playing Smogon anymore, motherfuckers.
Yeah, just like
everything goes, baby.
Yeah, you could easily just Sweet Scent your own Superior or Malamar or something to double its evasiveness.
That'd be brutal. Now, what do you even do about that?
What? Because what does Water and Grass Pledge do as a combo? Because I know that they combo together.
Makes a swamp on the other side of the field that halves their speed.
Ah, yes, of course it does, yeah. The grass and the water making the sludginess.
I wish other types of Pokemon could learn like Grass Pledge and Water Pledge. I know it's for the starters, but I don't want to use 2 starters on my team. I wish it could just be learned like all fire types or all grass types.
Is it not just... I thought more than just starters, isn't it, that you learn the pledges?
I'm pretty sure it's just starters. I think there was like a weird thing of like... Let's have a look. So I know like Grass Pledge could be learned by that weird type null Pokemon.
Oh, yes, yeah.
But yeah, it can only be learned by Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur, all the starters, Mew, of course.
Only and then, the starters get pledges. Oh, okay, fair. Obviously, a couple of things like...
If you got Superior on your team, you said you're using Superior, and you also use a... Greninja every now and again.
Yeah, I do have Greninja, and like... You could also just throw in what's it called, Smeargle.
I believe. Let's have a look. Grass Pledge. Can it be learned by
Well,
Smeargle?
Smeargle can learn any move, can't it?
Let's have a look. It doesn't seem to say it here. It doesn't say Smeargle.
No, but Sketch can sketch any move.
Sorry.
Like, Smeargle can't learn any move, it can only learn Sketch.
Most likely, yeah.
But Sketch can learn any move.
That would be a fun thing to do, though, like, just to absolutely shut down Tailwind. Because, like, it doesn't matter if they're using Tailwind, because it's basically it's a setup move and two attacking moves at the same time.
Is it one of those things, though, where the Swamp only works on grounded Pokemon, so the Tailwind user wouldn't be affected?
Let's have a look. No, all Pokemon. It quarters the speed of all Pokemon.
Oh shit, okay, right.
If Grass Pledge and Water Pledge are using the same turn, the ally moving second will use Grass Pledge with a power of 150.
So it can still learn Dark Void, though. It's just that Dark Void doesn't work if it's not Darkrai using it. So it's that weird thing of, like, I don't know if they technically put a limit on what Sketch can learn. I think they just change the moves so that, like, for example, Dark Void can be learned by a Smeargle still, I believe, but then it will just fail to use it.
Yeah, but here's the thing that you need to know as well, is that the Pokemon using Grass Pledge to create has to go second.
Okay. But yeah, you could do Water Pledge with Greninja, because Greninja will outspeed a Superior, I believe.
Yeah. But the thing you need to know, keep in mind, is that it's the Pokemon going second will use Grass Pledge with a base 150 power. But here's the thing. It always goes second, regardless of speed. So that means you could put like a slower grass type, like a Venusaur.
Or a Torterra.
And the Venusaur will... Yep, so as long as the Greninja is able to act first, which you probably will do because it's a Greninja, and it uses Water Pledge, your secondary Pokemon, regardless of its speed, will immediately use Swamp with base 150 power, plus Stab.
I wonder what the math is on whether you can make a Torterra Shell Smash be slightly slower than a Greninja still.
Maybe.
You know, one of those weird things where you math it out of, like, well, I'll use a Shell Smash, but when it Shell Smashes, it'll be like 2 slower than a Greninja's point still. So the Greninja moves first. It's like with my Trick Room of when I've got my Charger Bug and a Rhyperior in a Trick Room, the Charger Bug's speed is like a couple of points slower than my Rhyperior, so it just about goes first.
I do like stuff like that when you figure that out and it works, and you're like, what a fucking don I am.
Because I want to use the discharge to get the lightning rod on the Rhyperior in the Trick Room before the
it uses its attack.
It uses its attack, yeah, before that.
That with like extra damage. But the one here is really funny. That Water Pledge and Fire Pledge creates like the rainbow that just gives you Serene Grace for every Pokemon.
Oh shit! Right.
You put that one on and then just have your Pokemon use Heat Waves, because now you've got a 60% chance to burn both Pokemon. So I wish there was more stuff like that. I wish there was more interaction between moves. Like the one I always say is, I wish that Surf just got rid of entry hazards.
It would make sense, like the wave comes in and washes it all away.
Same thing like Earthquake. Earthquake should get rid of entry hazards and terrain.
I think there's probably just more shit that should get rid of entry hazards if...
There should be so much.
Because if... Either that or the argument the other way should be entry hazards only work in a certain amount of times. Like, Stealth Rock goes away after it hits like 2 Pokemon.
Yeah. Or the one that I said of, it should affect your side as well. So it's an extra risk of, like, if you want to use it, you have to use it on your side too.
Yeah. So at least then it's like, well, that's really strong, because you could just make sure that your team is like not on the ground, or, you know, has heavy duty boots and shit. It's like, yeah, but at least you have to use items and tactics to work around that then, rather than it just being straight up better for you in all situations.
Yeah, like, there's no downside to using it, which is the stupid thing about it. So there is no reason not to just immediately put down like Stealth Rocks if you can do it.
Yeah, like I would love to see that, of just, yeah, instead of like battle gimmicks all the time, like double down on interactions between moves and Pokemon and abilities.
Is that how it should be? So I think you make it so much more interesting. Like this, as you said, there should be more things that remove entry hazards because they're so strong. Same with terrains and stuff.
Oh, just about survived. Alright, we'll go with the guaranteed hit on Shrub. Of course, they used that. You know what? Let's just keep using strength because, like, Iron Tail is not even the use. And then it should probably use a Hype Potion, so I'm going to use a Hype Potion at the same time. Yes, the Ice Spinner removing terrain. Like, oh no. Wait, that's removed my own actual terrain. That I won. Well, yeah.
It's too strong. Like there's too many things that are too strong. Like there's no downside to using, like I said. So if Stealth Rot hurt your side, or if there were certain moves that you could do that would destroy
I quite like the terrains because the terrains affect both sides. So like, yeah, if you want to set down a psychic terrain and stop people using priority moves, you can, but you can't use them either. And then it's like, oh, but you know, when I've just got, like, when I'm going against a Farigiraf, and the Farigiraf's just like, yeah, no, you're not allowed to just use any priority moves at all anymore.
It sucks, doesn't it? I get it, that's what they're going for, but it's damn.
It's such a strong ability on, like, a pretty decent Pokemon as well. Yeah, Thumper's just, like, the one to go back to. Just, oh no, we're taking the hits. I think it's not even worth. What type is Turnip? It's Ground Dragon. Okay, yeah, we'll swap Turnip in to be able to just get, like, a bit of different use than just relying on Thumper forever. Oh no. Oh no, Turnip nearly died for that. Back in, Thumper! Thumper, come back!
Turnip.
Just Thumper! Yeah, we'll rely on Thumper, it's okay.
Let's go, Turnip. Like, just Turnip coming in being like, hey, I've got... Oh, no!
No. It's not worth it.
I love Vibrava. I wish Vibrava had, like, enough going on for it to be useful.
Yeah.
Like, with Eviolite. Because I prefer it so much more to Flygon.
Oh, really?
I prefer it, I think, because I like it being looking like a little bug.
I really like Flygon. I love that Flygon. Flygon should just be the bug dragon. 100% it should be a bug dragon, and it's such a shame that it's not, but I really love Flygon. I was quite surprised as well, because I saw a TikTok going through, like, there was, like, a popularity poll in Japan, and Flygon made, like, the top 10 most popular Pokemon in Japan.
A lot of people like Flygon.
And go on, Cole, do you reckon that you could guess, in Japan specifically, what the most popular Pokemon right now is?
Mimikyu.
No. It is in the top 10. I think it was top 5.
Not Mimikyu, it'll be...
It's a current Gen 9 Pokemon.
A Gen 9 one? One of the legendaries?
No.
I wouldn't be able to think then. What would it be?
It was Meowscarada.
That's surprising.
Yeah, it was surprising, yeah. I quite like Meowscarada. I think it's like
for it to be
the magician cat, but
everyone's favourite.
The most popular Pokemon in a poll in Japan was apparently Meowscarada.
That is surprising.
It's cool because I think it's quite a cool Pokemon. I think I don't like the fact, obviously, that it was just every starter's got to be like the bipedal Pokemon now.
Yep.
Go ahead, Red Heart, break my brain. But yes, dark type Luxray should have totally been a thing. Like the fact that Luxray is just a regular electric type, it probably makes it a better Pokemon. But
it would have been better with
it would have just been a cooler, more unique Pokemon if it was an electric dark type. Like, because the stab on crunch would be great. I do like as well that Luxray leans into the biting moves, but the fact it hasn't got strong jaw as one of the abilities.
Yeah, that could be kind of fun.
Because it's got all of the different fang moves and stuff, and crunch and bite, and it's like it seems built. It's like it's this Lynx Pokemon that bites everything. It's got all the different elemental bites or elemental fang moves, I guess. And then it's just like, yeah, don't give it strong jaw.
The thing is, well, the things that have strong jaw aren't that great, but I guess it's like we don't want to make the bite moves too strong.
But I'd argue that Tyrantrum's probably as strong as a Luxray, right?
Probably.
I mean, I presume their answer is just, well, it's got Intimidate, it doesn't need another ability, but still. I didn't actually check where Professor said. Pokemon Beat Gym 4, where do we go? Lysandra Cafe and Magenta Plaza. Cool. I also get then Nuzlocke. Oh.
I love the idea of a Nuzlocke app.
It just basically lets you track, like, oh, well, here's every place you can catch a Pokemon. Did you catch it? Like,
oh yeah, I guess that makes it. You might think about if you are following like the rules.
mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, you might have missed a place just to catch a random Pokemon. That would have been very helpful to have.
Mm-hmm. Like, there's a couple ones here where like we haven't gone back to cities to fish yet because we're waiting to like get the Super Rod to be able to have like more options available to us. Oh wow, yeah, okay, that's just Red Hair Shanks without Scar. Yeah. That's like almost the exact same face. Completely.
What, sorry?
Just like a character in Fairy Tail, just like looking the exact fucking same as one of the main characters from One Piece.
The embarrassing. That's just embarrassing, right?
Like, it's like they both lost an arm. Jesus Christ, yeah. That's basically just they've picked up Shanks and just we want him in our anime too.
Is like Shanks, I guess I'm not too familiar with the series. Is he an archetype?
How do you mean?
Like, is it like the samurai character, for example, or is he like distinct enough where it's like this is just this character?
He's relatively distinct, yeah.
So it's not just like it's the same archetype.
Not really, no. It's not like Zoro where it's just like, yeah, he's the sword guy. It's like, no, he's a pretty like, I wouldn't particularly say he falls under a specific category of character or anything. He doesn't really look like any specific archetype either.
In which case, you know what? Good for them.
I just like the idea that this, like, whoever the fuck made Fairy Tail is like, I just really like Shanks. I just want him in my anime too.
You can almost respect it.
Like, some people truly just don't
No
give
shame.
a fuck. No shame.
Like,
Yeah.
there's no shame.
Yeah, you do almost have to respect it in some sense. I bet you it was just go the opposite way where that Team Flare guy was. It's all like a Team Flare grunt. Yeah, it was totally well. Flare grunt. Carl, do you remember this? Just like,
oh god, that
fucking loser.
That douchebag. I forgot that he looked that stupid.
Oda did that with the MC before he made One Piece. In what sense? Do I know where the Holocaster is made? No. They made it in Lysandra's lab. It's like, okay then, can you not just be content making like a hologram communicator and making a shit ton of money? It's like, no, I want to wipe the planet clean. Just destroy the Earth. Great. I mean, that's a bit different when you rip off your own character, though.
Yeah, I think you're allowed to rip off your own shit.
Like when, just, you know, obviously it was for a fun cameo, but when, Toriyama just put that, like, I can't remember her name.
Oh, Raleigh.
Is that what her name is? The girl from his other manga in?
Yeah, and she just beats Vegeta.
And she just beats the shit out of them because she's got, like, Looney Tunes powers, essentially. Like, that's the thing, is cartoon powers always beat out other types of strength.
Yeah, but I think joke anime characters are the best. That's why, like, was it the One Piece versus Popeye? And it's like, the only character that could beat a joke anime is Popeye. Because he was joke anime before joke anime existed.
Yeah, because, like, at least most anime that, you know, aren't joke anime characters, they have to take the rules of the world into account, whereas when your entire rules of the world, like, basically don't exist because your entire existence is there to break rules, like Looney Tunes, for example. It's like, just rules don't apply to these characters, so therefore they're just way more powerful.
It's like Looney Tunes logic, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, but when Bugs Bunny can just basically, you know, like, Bugs Bunny could just bring out a magical eraser and, like, undraw you out of the world.
It's like, again, SpongeBob logic as well.
Yeah, it's that one where, like, they do the death battle with SpongeBob, and it's like, yeah, he picked a thread of reality and just unpulled the world.
Joe else did that? Ed, and Eddie.
Right, okay, yeah.
Remember Ed, and Eddie, like, there's a bit where just, like, they pull off one of the characters' outlines. Like, you just remove his outline, and, like, I don't know what we did.
Yeah. Just, I don't know what we did, but the fact that we don't necessarily need to apply to the rules, like, it just means we can do whatever the fuck we want.
So you might think we're being irresponsible, but have you considered fuck you?
Popeye ate spinach with no body and came back from a deleted you. What?
He did. It's in the death
just
battle,
deleted and ate himself back into the world.
What he really wanted is spinach.
He really, yeah. That's the thing, is I'm not always agreeing with the kind of, like, the logic and decision making in Death Battle. Like, they're pretty well researched and they make a better argument than most people do. But
most people's argument is always just, but I like this character.
I like the character, yeah. But, you know, when people are like, well, this would never happen, it's like, okay, but, well, if SpongeBob can pull apart reality, then SpongeBob always wins.
Yep.
Unless maybe you have a fight against Popeye, where Popeye can come back from being unexisted, just any shit like that, where it's weird cartoon logic of just, those are the only times where it might not win, is against other dumb cartoon logic. The stream has been good, thank you. Lysander, I'll have my 5 million Poké Dollars saved soon. They want 5 million Poké Dollars for? Is that like the Apple Vision Pro? Is that just how much a holoclip receiver costs? It's just like, this holo gadget costs 5 million Poké Dollars.
Have you seen that people, like, immediately just started trading them back in?
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. And the reason why is, who could have seen it come in? It's uncomfortable to wear all day. Who could have possibly seen this come in?
Okay, so Route 14. Yeah, we got the voltage badge. We managed to not lose any Pokemon, so far I would class it as a very successful stream of like no one's died. That's a success enough for me so far.
You always have to clarify saying yet.
Yeah, nobody has died yet this stream. The Apple Vision Pro thing that costs like $3,500, and yeah, it's been marketed and designed as like, this is a thing that you will replace just life, and you will wear it forever, and it will become your new way of working or existing, and it's like, it's just uncomfortable to wear.
Yeah, I do look like one of my favorite things is, wow, this is going to change the future. Look at what this can do. And it's a guy looking through it, and he's got timers on some pasta on the boil. It's like, my phone's been able to do this for 15 years.
Yeah, because it was like the timers over the different pots, wasn't it? And it's like, hey, I'm not wearing £3,500 worth of like electrical equipment over boiling pots where there's just steam evaporating right into my
but I already feel bad when I take my phone into the bathroom when I'm having a shower listening to music.
Yeah,
because I think that's the reason why my phone sounds so bad when I'm talking like Discord. It's like, I don't care because I never talk on the phone.
Yeah, that's why I just got like a Bluetooth speaker for Christmas. Just like, yeah, I probably shouldn't bring my phone into the shower, like not into the shower, into the bathroom when I've got a shower on, but like, you know, I want to listen to music, but then yeah, just got one of those like cheaper Bluetooth speakers of like, I guess if I'm gonna ruin something, it might as well be A, something that's designed to be in water, and B, just it might as well cost like 200 quid rather than 800.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild to me that people are like, oh my god, yeah, I'll wear this while I'm just cooking with steam everywhere. It's like, that costs so much money. And also, yeah, just egg timers exist.
I just do like the idea, though, of putting it in next to your eyes. That's the one that does it for me. It's like, it's next to your eyes.
It's like, I will never deny that there's some impressive technology going on in there, but yeah, that amount of money for essentially, yeah, a VR headset with a camera is all it really is. With, like, you know, a bunch of Apple marketing and branding and stuff around it. And yeah, it's got probably some really fancy technology that works very well, but no one that is buying it seems to be like actually asking themselves, should I be using any of this?
So the thing is
there a need for it? No. Okay, so why are you spending thousands of dollars on it?
Luke, I want it.
And fair enough. If people's reasoning is, but I want it, that's fine. You go spend your money how you want to go spend your money. I'm not going to stop you. Stump is the only thing that we've got to deal with, just this juggernaut. And as much as I don't like Delphox or Chestnut's final designs, I appreciate the idea of them going with the gimmick of like the tank, the rogue, and the mage.
Yeah, it's a
really cool concept.
I just think Chestnut looks terrible.
I think Delphox looks so much worse than Fennekin as well. Not Fennekin, sorry. The middle stage one.
Yeah, it's just, what a downgrade.
I'm trying to remember what it's called now.
That's the thing with the fact we don't even remember it.
Brazian, that's it. It's because there's no consistency with the names. Just from Fennekin to Brazian to Delphox, like, I really love Brazian's design. I love Brazian so much, and I wish like Eevee like Brazian could do something. Because I really like the Wizard Fox gimmick. It's really cool, and just Delphox just doesn't hit the landing.
It tries, that's the thing.
And then we also got the Thief Fox, Thievul, in Gen 8, which again was just like such a letdown for a Fox Pokemon.
There should have fucking been a female version that did have a stupid mustache.
Yeah, the mustache.
The mustache is what ruined it. Does it? It would have been fine if it wasn't for the mustache.
Mm-hmm.
Because the mustache makes it look so stupid.
Yeah, Absol's one of my favourite Dark types. And Dark type is my favourite type as well. The edgelord within me knows. But I'll just forever be sad that we had Mega Absol taken away from us. Because as like, you know, just cliche as that design is, it looks very good. They did it very well. Of like make it the cool, just angelic emo. Like, yeah, I 100% understand when everyone's like, oh, but you know, it is just a bit generic looking. It's like, it is and it isn't. Like, it's I guess generic idea, but a well executed design. How I look at Mega Absol.
Yeah, I've got like no issue with the design. Like, it's from that era, but at least it looks like an animal and not like a person wearing a fursuit.
Yeah. The thing is, yeah, they could have totally done a cool mustache on Thievul, but the mustache just looks so bad.
Yep.
I wish they did have a female version without it, and it was a perfect reason to have a gender difference. Is like, yeah, women don't grow mustaches.
Like, it 100% would have saved that Pokemon.
Mm-hmm. I thought, like, when I got Nickit, I thought, excellent design. Just like, really cool idea of like a fox that goes around thieving things, because yeah, that makes perfect sense, especially like, you know, for a British game as well, just having foxes running around being sneaky and thieving. Yeah,
you should have found it. You should have found it in the bin. Like, you should find it like rummaging around bins.
It 100% should have been found in the same route as like a chicken Pokemon.
Oh, stealing eggs.
Yeah.
Just nicking eggs.
You could only find it where like there's one location with like a chicken coop, and the other location you can find it was the daycare where it's trying to steal the eggs.
Yep. They could have said that, yeah. They could say it just steals eggs.
Mm-hmm. Presume this is the first Pokemon can find. Oh, Weeping Bell.
That's not bad, but is it Grass Stone or Evolution?
How do you mean?
Like, to evolve it into a Victory Bell?
It'll be Leaf Stone, yeah.
That's alright then.
Oh. Paralyzed. Hi, Tom.
It's a shame, because like Weeping Bell just looks like it's suffering.
It does look.
I look at it and just think, it's begging for life.
Bulldoze. Don't kill it. There we go. Got the crit. Nice. Great ball. Okay. Excellent. Cool. Weeping Bell. So, I wonder what Pokemon we could have got in this route. That's the real question, isn't it?
Do you want to look it up, because then you'll be sad.
But it's on the Nuzlocke tracker of like when you click on the route, it tells you what everything you could have got. I'm not overly mad. You could get Barboach, Bellsprout, or Weeping Bell, Carnivine, Ekans. Agumi would have been really useful.
Gumi's so strong.
Gumi would have been really strong. Haunter would have been not the best, actually, because we couldn't evolve it.
No, it's
same with
evolution, right?
Carablast. We couldn't evolve the Carablast. Poliwag, Poliwhirl, Quagsire, Whiscash. Like, none of those are going to be great because we've got loads of water Pokemon anyway. Shelmet, we couldn't evolve. Scoropy, I hate. And then Stunfisk would have been quite useful.
I think, yeah, Stunfisk is one of those weird ones. It always felt like you should have had an evolution.
Yeah, it didn't, did it? Yeah, it's just got the other Stunfisk. Is the
Oh, so, like,
Galarian version as well.
It'd been based on a flounder. Maybe we could have got like Stingray Pokemon or something.
Yeah, thanks for joining in, Shadow. Yeah, just take care and thank you for joining. I'll just like seeing our Pokemon.
So I love Pokemon. Yeah, look at him. He hates it.
So, Carl, do you want a nickname Weeping Bell or should we let chat?
Let chat name Weeping Bell. Keep in mind, he evolves into a Victory Bell.
I don't think Gordon Ramsay would even fit.
Probably not now.
So maybe just call it Gordon. So I appreciate the pun of like it being the gourd.
So we'll always know.
We'll know it's the Ramsay is implied. I was thinking for a second that we might have had Machamp, but we had a Lechomp. Maybe we'll just head back to a PC. Go grab Weeping. I don't think we've got a Leaf Stone. Might be able to actually just buy one in Lumiose, maybe, because it's the big.
Is this the gen that? Is this like they finally stopped being like so
I know we
stingy with the stones?
We do have a Leaf Stone. I mean, to be fair, like, I mean, they're pretty stingy with the Water, Thunder, Fire stones and Leaf Stones, but those four you could always just go buy it. Like, even in Gen 1, you could buy it at Celadon.
Yeah, mate, I remember when we played Heart Gold Soul Silver and we could not find the only way to get a Firestone is to win the bug catching competition.
Oh god, yeah. There were so many good items locked behind the fucking bug catching competition.
So, like, while I appreciate what you said, you are wrong.
I am wrong in that sense.
There is literal video proof of how shit this is.
It might have just had one of the words that I've put in my like auto mod. Because it hasn't even come up with like the auto mod. Do you want to approve this or not? I don't see a message from you that didn't get approved, so it's just like there's a word in there somewhere that was just completely not okay. And it might just be something that you don't expect because there's a few words in there that like you might think are just a normal word, but in some situations can be used very, very nastily.
It sucks, doesn't it? Like people who just are assholes. Why do they have just so much like time to think of this shit?
Mm-hmm. No worries, Tom. Feel free to just stick around or leave whenever. We never want you to feel beholden to sticking around. Gen 1 is the only set of games to have easy access to stones before this gen. Oh, so they started out like, yeah, just get stones whenever you want, and then just went, no, fuck you.
Yeah, I think it was because they wanted to do the thing, didn't they? Of you just get the Eevee, and in the town where you get the Eevee, you can just evolve it right away.
Okay, let's have a look. Let's see what Victreebel can do in Gen 6. Because you are right, I shouldn't just be like... Because there's no even reason overly to make sure that we have a Victreebel on the team. I'm just getting excited about getting a new Pokemon. And not thinking about it. So, Gen 6 decks. For some reason... Took me to the Gen 6 decks with just on Google. Okay, that's cool, I guess. Yeah, it basically learns just grass things through level up. It learns like Vine Whip, Sleep Powder, Sweet Scent, Razor Leaf, Leaf Tornado, Leaf Storm, Leaf Blade. Can you learn anything that's not leaf? No.
It loves the leaves.
It just loves the leaf. Yeah, I guess like fuck you, Victreebel then. So we caught a Weeping Bell. We named it Gordon. And then captured it. But yeah, fuck it. Like as well, I should probably click tracker here that we've evolved Pokemon. Oh no! Evolved Floette. Evolved Floette? We did evolve Ivysaur into Venusaur as it died.
I remember that. I think that's the last one I turned in for.
Yeah,
And
we're just... Like, it died and then evolved its arm. It was trying.
You just had nothing left.
Evolve the... Okay. Did evolve Tyrant. Had it met its end. Fucking chat up.
I also remember that, yeah, the chat talk, like... Man, like, that must be bad luck for you.
Yeah, it was not a good stream. We had, like, Sork, Venusaur, and Tyrantrum all taken out.
Also, Lucas, I just made, like, a customization for a character in Tekken. I'm going to send it to you.
Oh no, what have you done?
So, He's here. If you can guess who it is. If you can guess who it is, that means I've made it alright.
Who it's meant to be?
If you can guess who it's meant to be, yeah. So that's the thing. I recognise it. Obviously, it might be because I like the character a lot.
Mm-hmm. Figure this out. Yeah, it rings a vague bell, but I can't quite.
Oh no. Well, I'll take a picture of the other customizer because I made like contrasting customizations.
Who's that meant to be then?
Chris Redfield.
Oh shit! Yeah, no, yeah, I can see that. With the fucking shotgun on his back.
He's got to be on it.
Why has he got like? Why is there a customization option in Tekken to have a shotgun on your back though?
Because you might need a shotgun. You might need to take out the Devil Gene. See if you can see like. I can't tell us if my Wesker looks like Wesker because there's no way you can't have it without a tie. But just better Wesker as well.
The Wesker with like the biggest shoulders of all time.
The thing is, I try to think of what character would be good for like Wesker.
Just fucking wide neck Wesker over here.
I did make a Harangue who looks like Leon Kennedy though. It's all the kicks. Like what?
It's a shame that Harangue could just be beaten by Joel from The Last of Us then.
Very good. That's actually a shout. Yeah, I forgot. I could make a.
Sorry, I've missed a few messages.
Yeah, go on. I've got one more to show you as well. I think you'll like this one. So I'm just going to just bring it up and I'm going to show you this one last picture. I'm really proud of this one.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what you mean about that, Tam, that's all. I've just read that message there and the calling editors thing. I'm not 100% sure what the question is. I'm not going to lie.
Let's have a look. What is he saying? I'll see if maybe I can...
Did it evolve into...
I don't get that either.
Yeah, I'm just not sure what you mean by that, that's all. I'm not offended or anything. I just don't know what that means. But, you need to get phone numbers in Gen 2. Gen 3, you need to dive to get shard off. The shards I gave up on so quickly in Gen 3 to get anything for.
Not worth it, is it?
No.
But I sent you one more customization.
Yeah, the Tekken custom people, like, are fantastic. Oh, you've got the Ashley as well. I saw one, like day 2 of Tekken 8 came out, and it was, like, Ashley versus Leon. And I'm like, what is going on? Why do these look so much like the actual characters?
The one that I like is someone made, like, someone who looks like Fred from Scooby-Doo. They're just going online, playing as Victor, and absolutely fucking annihilate. It's one thing to be
Victor as Fred as well, yeah.
Who kind of looks like someone. But when you pick, like, just Victor, like, there's the samurai with a gun, and it's just Fred pulls out a piece. It's either you make the character look exactly like the Sony people just made Drake.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they keep making Jin into Drake, and it's so fucking funny.
Surprised no one's made an Usher after the Super Bowl.
They could do.
I mean, they could. I haven't seen that yet, though.
It's funny though because there's like the option to like give your character a tan, and the tan is real tanned.
Oh,
And
right, okay.
It just feels like, did they not have enough black people in the game for custom options? Because you can just give like every white person just like a super good fade and a tan, and they look almost like they're black. But obviously they're not because they're either Korean or white or like Japanese or something.
Yeah.
But like, the amount of customs that I've seen that are just like, yeah, I've just made Shamar more. It's like, oh, let's go.
Let's put Fly back
Ryan
into the team for now.
Ryan Fury is now Shamar more from Criminal Minds. I'm ready.
So what's meant to be our like soft cap on the next gym? Level 42 for a fairy gym. Okay, well we've already got a level 43 thumper. So let's keep that out of the team for now. Level 40 gusset. Swap that for a lock. For a fairy gym, not going to be incredible. So we'll put Ace back in.
I always forget what Fairy's weak to.
Fairy's just weak to steel and poison, and strong.
I always feel like it should be weak to something else.
It's strong against dark, fairy, and fighting.
Yeah, I always forget that it's strong against dark and fighting.
No.
You feel like it should be weak against something else.
Dark dragon fighting. Sorry, got that wrong. But yeah, it's a really decent type, both offensively and defensively, which I feel like it's just about balanced because they gave a lot of buffs to like steel and poison types offensively around the same time. But just it's one of those of, you know, it was there to counter dragons and like I guess also dark types because darks only had like the one weakness. But, just like the fact that it also inherently made steel type a better type. It's like, could steel not have just been a shit offensive type and a good defensive type?
Yeah.
But they did, I think they did, this was also the gen, I think, where it gained the strength against fairy, but it also lost its resistances to ghost and dark. So it did admittedly get reined in a little bit. Just neutral to ghost and dark.
Like, I think as well, Fairy, yeah, when it was first introduced, it was just like absolutely almost unstoppable, right? Nothing you could really do.
Yeah, there was, as Alex says there, just, it kind of just felt dominant in itself, even though it was meant to get rid of how dominant Dragon type was. It's kind of one of those, if it was a double-edged sword of like, well, it fixed one problem, but then just became a problem in itself. God, it's one of those as well. We've got like multiple locations where we can go catch Pokemon in a city, but it's just like every Pokemon game, there's so many water types available at all times.
Well, if you want a water Pokemon, you've always got a water Pokemon.
You've always got water Pokemon. Like you always like tripping up on yourself with how many in water Pokemon there are. Crazy.
Like you're just drowning.
By far the most common type, which makes sense because there's water and grass everywhere. So of course, like water, grass, and bug Pokemon make up a huge population, but it's still very frustrating when I can catch one Pokemon per route, and nearly every single route, it's like half your options are just water types.
It made sense in it like the early games. It's like, what are there more of? There's fish and bugs everywhere. Got it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it does make sense, but it doesn't make for fun. Sometimes you just gotta stop the sensical part of your game design and just add to the fun. What about the desert? Yeah, that's true. Just, well, ground Pokemon have got to exist somewhere.
You actually think I meant a better Wesker with Steve. Because he's got all the parries and stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, just Wesker with all the punches. He's got like the thrust punch and stuff.
Oh, just with the pure black suit with the sunglasses. Yeah.
But actually, like some characters don't have all the customization options. Like not every character has the same ones. Like not. The weirdest one is Leo, because Leo has all the male options for clothing, but a couple of the female ones. Because Leo is the girl who just.
Yeah, so I was gonna say I couldn't remember whether Leo was a girl or a boy.
It took them ages to confirm it as well. I remember it was one of those things they kept asking, they just refused to acknowledge it until Tekken Tag 2, where like you had the bikini costumes and they kind of had to put them in a bikini.
Right. So up until that point, it was like we're just not going to give in to people asking, but
No, they're a tomboy, so they get to dress with all the male options. I kind of wish you had the female options and male options for every character.
Yeah.
Because it looks so good on Leo, where you can make her like wear the cool suits. It's like, I kind of want to put like Nina in.
Yeah,
like,
it's one of those annoying things of like, is it if you can put Leo in suits, why can't you just put any woman in a suit?
Yeah. And not so much about like because Leo, one of the reasons why a lot of the characters have the same body type essentially. But it's like generally it's the female body type and the male body type, except for like Jack and Kuma and stuff. So clearly like, they've modelled the clothes for the smaller body type.
Yes.
They could put them on for like, I want to put Ling Zhao Yu in a suit and a top hat. And I want to put Paul in like a mini skirt.
I would like to see that.
It's probably going to be an option at some point. I imagine with each like DLC there'll be a new option, but
Hopefully, yeah. Oh, goddamn. That person just basically, as they appeared on screen, they were already in eyesight. Just, yeah, it's that weird thing of just trying to untrain your brain from wanting to fight trainers. But I've gotten halfway through the game and I'm finally starting to remember, but...
It's the thing, it's, oh, I'll get more XP fighting the trainers, but the higher level Pokemon might crit you and kill you, and it's like, fuck. Actually, now I mention it, maybe Leo will be a good Wesker. Because Leo's got like the small, light body type. And he's got like, Leo's like the one with like the really strong punches, like Wesker does. He does all like the straight punches and like the backflips and shit.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I don't really know much about Leo. Because Leo was kind of past my Tekken time, because I mainly dropped off after 4. Fuck. Oh my word. Onto you, bellend. Nearly just one of the things of like, oh, well, it'll probably just use the same move again, and then it's like, no, it's just gonna do something that nearly kills you out of nowhere. We'll keep old moves for now.
You're gonna get Psycho Cut. Psycho Cut's awesome.
Yeah, but we have Hypnosis and Screens on Malamar to be a bit more ability Pokemon.
Ah, fair.
Deep control. Foul play. Like, Psycho Cut is good. It's very good, but yeah.
Actually, as well.
Oh,
Leo works even better, Lucas. Because Leo has. Oh yeah, I love Crocodile.
Crocodile, let's go. Speaking of sunglasses, just the Crocodile coming in.
I love giving that one like the dark sunglasses, because like Crocodile wears sunglasses, strong one. Yeah, actually, Leo works better because Leo doesn't get the unbuttoned shirt for one of the outfits.
Oh, okay.
They get like Wesker has like that super tight fitting shirt over like the leather coat.
I accidentally just opened up Photoshop by accident.
Oh man, that's always a nightmare as well. Cause it's like you feel your computer grind to a halt, and all the fuck's going on.
All right. I've got one. You know, that editing PC. It doesn't matter too much. Yeah. I think I've still technically got like one of the most powerful CPUs available. So I just like when I went to upgrade my CPU, I was like, rather than being upgrading it again in like a year or two, I'm just going to get the best CPU that's not like £3,000.
And you just crammed it right all the way into your thing. You're like, fuck yeah, let's go. Yeah, this might actually work. That's things about I might main Leo now, just so I can wear this Wesker outfit.
It's like you can tell I've got an edited PC because I've got one of the most like powerful CPUs on the market. I'm running like a 1060i, which is a graphics card that's from about like 8 years ago or something. Like,
I don't know.
You need RAM and CPU when you're editing. You don't need a graphics card.
I don't know what any of those words mean.
I've had to learn.
You might think, well, surely I would have learned by now. It's like, why would I do that?
I mean, that's the thing, is just there's not much of a need to, apart from It was only when because I kind of just went with like a custom build PC in sense of like I just got someone else to do the like, well, what's a medium range PC for editing, like with reasonable spec prices and stuff, and just went to one of those websites that just do like the build for you.
I feel like what you should have maybe done is you should have posted on Twitter about not knowing what PC to get. I feel like you'd have got a lot of like really useful advice there.
You would have got a lot of advice. You would have certainly got a lot of advice.
Oh, don't be laugh. I've got a tickly throat.
But yeah, it was when I was like hitting certain bottlenecks while I was editing, and I'm sitting there going like, I guess I actually have to figure out what I need to upgrade right now and what the best options are. I can't think of what ghost type you. A horde of faceless men behind you. It's just like, oh no, some guy tried to take us into like a haunted house. Would you like to give a tip? Sure. How much would you like to tip? Let's tip him 1,000 Poké Dollars. Let's see what happens.
Welcome to America, motherfucker. Just imagine American Pokemon where every time you go to like the Poké Center, they send the bailiffs after you.
So this is something I want to actually ask Carl and chat. Is just I've not been to America before. I've heard obviously, all the stories about tipping and stuff, but I was reading a couple of like Reddit comments and stuff about like tipping culture in America. People were saying that like they were at a bar and the barman were expecting that they would get a tip after serving you like a bottle of beer.
Bottle of beer, yeah, they expect a tip for opening a bottle of beer.
And like they would expect a tip every single time you order another drink.
Every single time.
What?
Every time.
Like, I can't fathom the idea of like tipping someone over opening a bottle of beer and passing me it.
Lucas, you don't understand they get paid $2 an hour, you have to give them a tip.
I get that, but could they not just like pay staff?
Well, that's the thing
could
as
they
well.
Not raise the price of every bottle of beer by $1.
And it is why
and pay the staff.
Is the single most frustrating argument to have, because ultimately people are right in that they don't get paid enough, but it still makes you a dick because they rely on that to get certain. We talked about the Gordon Ramsay video, didn't we? Of just it results in everyone getting shitter service because there's a. Have you ever heard like the stereotype of like black people and people from other countries not tipping? It's like a big stereotype in America, and there's been a study done on it of because tips are so important in American restaurants. It's about turnover speed. It's not about service. Obviously, even if you give shit service in America, you can largely expect to
nearly everyone. It's like an expectation to tip rather than like for good service. Yeah.
Yeah. So they did a study on it, and just if you go into a restaurant as a black person, you will get like served slower. I don't know. It's either they serve you way too fast or way too slow because they just want to get you out of the restaurant. It's turnover.
I would presume fast then, right?
Yes, they want to get you out of the restaurant as quickly as possible, and it results in worse service. But conversely, because there's like now that's a stereotype people are aware of, when they actually crunch the numbers and they go, well, people like African Americans, they tip more on average,
right?
Because they want to avoid this stereotype.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
It's this really weird, like self-fulfilling prophecy of like they get shitter service, but they tip more. It's like, but that's one example of just like how fucked up it can be.
Yeah. I've never encountered.
Obviously, it's not a thing over here, is it? Because obviously tipping's not too big a deal. But like, I remember
tipping is a thing that people appreciate over here as like an added bonus. But I've never met many waiters and servers and stuff that expect a tip. Yeah, unless it's like, you've been super fucking friendly to like a big awkward table, like then people get a bit pissed off. Like, fucking hell, like, I just served like 20 people, was super nice, super accommodating the entire time, focused really heavily on them, accommodated everything, and they didn't fucking tip. Like, that's when people get a bit annoyed by it.
So I got like a curry earlier, and it was like 33 quid. So I was giving the guy 35 quid because I had some like birthday money left over. And the guy's like, "Do you want the 3 quid back?" I'm like, "No, it's all right, mate. I don't want any change carrying it." "Are you sure? I can go get it for you if you want."
Like, whenever I got tipped, I would always kind of like, be like, you know, unless it was the casual thing of, well, they've left money on the table and walked out. Then it's just like, yeah, okay, they've left the tip. But if someone handed me like a fiver and went like, "Here's a tip for you," I'd be like, "Oh, are you sure?" Like, I would always double check with them, like, "I appreciate it, thank you, but like, are you sure that you want to give me this tip?" And yeah, I've never. I can imagine that maybe it is insulting in some cultures because it's like, what, are you like looking down on me because you think I don't earn enough money kind of vibe, maybe?
It's also as well,
I've
like,
encountered that before.
Yeah. It's an insult to the service. Same thing like in some restaurants, it's like an insult to like finish your plate and stuff because you're questioning the generosity. It's like a cultural thing. But yeah, in America they will expect a tip after, and it's such a frustrating, pointless argument because every time you say it fucking sucks, but they rely on tips to survive. It's like, I know, but it's still fucking
It's like,
sucks.
I get that, but the complaint that we have is that we shouldn't be the one paying your bills. It should be the people that hire you.
But then as soon as you do that, it's like, but they rely on tips to survive. It's like, I know that. It's never a conversation anyone wants to have. No one ever enters into it.
And like, obviously online, a lot of people have that conversation, but in person, like, you're not going to, you know, if a waiter or something turns around to you and is like, "Oh, like, do you not think I deserve a tip?" Like, in person, you don't want to be having that conversation with people of like, "Well, I do want you to earn a living, but I don't necessarily think your service was like worthy of getting a tip." That kind of conversation. Because sometimes, yeah, people are just bad at service, and I will not tip if they're rude to me.
As I said, it's it results in worse service despite you paying the most for it, because all it does is, because they can largely expect a tip regardless of how good they actually perform. In most cases, you just the aim of the game is get as many people in and out as possible.
Whereas over here, because people earn at very least a minimum wage, in a lot of places like a living wage and stuff, but the expectation is always that if I give good service, I'll probably get a tip.
Yeah, it's why we talked about in the video recorded for the weekend, where the difference between American and British service, despite them being so customer focused, like customers always right, like, you know, everyone has to tip for service and stuff, like their service is by and large terrible.
Because I'd always heard like, yeah, that kind of stuff of, you know, people like waiters will always expect a tip for serving you at a table, which is, you know, especially when you're getting like shit pay, I kind of understand why it's an expectation, but again, like, I do think that something should be done about the fucking wages that people get paid, but I understand why people getting paid nothing expect to be able to get tips from people. But just the idea of like opening a bottle of beer and passing it to you and then you have to tip every time is wild.
I remember it happening to me, yeah, when I was over in America with my ex. And the guy served me a bottle of beer, and he's like, "That's $3." I gave him $3, and my girlfriend gave him a tip. I'm like, "What do you mean, give him a tip? You just open a bottle of beer and hand it?" It's like, "No, it's expected to give a tip."
Like, apologies if this is like, you know, something that I don't want to make. You know, again, I don't have a problem with like the people. I think if I was in that kind of situation where it's like, yeah, the people rely on this, it's like, okay, I would want to tip those people and want them to be treated fairly and want them to get a living wage. As someone who worked in restaurants for years, like, of course.
Yeah, because like, to clarify, I always did tip. It's just the ridiculousness of that's how bad it is.
It's like, I'm going out for a meal and paying for food. The restaurant should be the one paying the people. I would tip in that scenario to make sure that people are getting paid. I never want people to, like, you know, not be getting paid what they're worth, but it should, in an ideal world, be the restaurant paying that. And I would never sit there and go, well, because I'm from a place where like waiters get paid a fair amount, that I believe that you shouldn't get tipped. It's like, no, I would tip, But I do find it frustrating, like, that workaround of, like, it's been twisted in such a way where they've made the customer the bad guy for not paying someone's wages, when it should be the restaurants or, you know, wherever, the establishment that they're working at that pays people wages.
Yep, and that's always and that's the thing. That argument, that 5 minutes we just had, now imagine that was 4 hours long.
Yeah,
that's the conversation on the internet. I remember, like, one of the forums that I was in before, I was like, you know what, fuck this. Every couple of weeks, the tipping one comes up, and it was always like 40 pages long. And it was back and forth of, I think it's ridiculous, but they need it to survive. I think it's ridiculous, they need it. It's like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's same thing like the gun argument in America. Like, there will never be an answer because just there is no compromise.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, just, it's one of those, as I said, I really don't mind the idea of, like, well, if we wanted to pay our staff fairly, we'd have to raise the prices of our meals and drinks and stuff.
No, you wouldn't. That's always the thing. It's like, that's what they say, yeah.
Most places, admittedly, they wouldn't. But if that is the argument, that's fine. I would happily pay another, as I said, I'd rather pay an extra $1 on every drink than be expected to tip $1 every time someone opens a bottle for me. If that makes sense, like, I just, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And if that was the expectation of just, like, yeah, just pay people fairly, pay people what they're worth, and realistically, minimum wage isn't even what people are worth, but it's like, you know, the fucking minimum wage and living wage over in the UK, I would argue people deserve way more than that for their time and their service, but yeah, it's just, it's so frustrating that, like, the onus is put upon, like, other people that could also be struggling with money, rather than companies. Like, we should always be mad at the companies rather than one another, is the takeaway, really. For the fact that, you know, there's certain situations, and it happens in the UK as well, there's certain situations where, like, just, it gets turned around on, like, the customer or the staff or whatever, and it's like, no, realistically, we should all be mad at, like, the fucking millionaires that run all these establishments.
Right, so obviously it's in their best interest to, like, keep the argument going, but there will never be an answer to it because no one wants to have. Like, it's always such an emotionally charged thing. Because it's people's money.
It's people's livelihood, yeah.
Yeah, it's people's livelihood, and also people not wanting to, you know, get bad service for more money. Mm-hmm. So let's say you must fucking suck to live in America and get consistently worse service. You had, like, all the Uber Eats stuff now. Of, like, you order on Uber Eats and, like, the drivers will, like, you must have seen the videos, like, drivers, like, banging on people's doors for not getting enough of a tip.
Oh, no.
Or, like, you know, throwing food through people's letterboxes.
I've seen one of, like, one that was going around of, like, someone was clearly doing, like, a delivery for, like a supermarket or whatever. And they, like, were pulling out all of the stuff. But it's like, oh, you're gonna give me a tip? It's like, no. It's like, well, you're not getting your delivery of, like, fucking toilet roll and shit like this. It's like, you're not getting your groceries because you won't tip me. It's like, okay, but
I paid for it.
Yeah, that's my stuff.
I'm not thinking that's what it gets to. And it's I get it, because obviously you want to get paid, but all it does is it's so frustrating a thing to have to deal with, I imagine.
Gordon actually might be slightly useful here, because it's going to be a fairy gym.
Yes, Luke, they will chase you down. You are expected to tip for someone opening a bottle of beer and handing it to you.
That's the one that, like, really confused me. I 100% get, like, if you've got a table in for an hour or two and you've been looking after them, like, yeah, you probably deserve a tip. But the idea of, like, just using a bottle opener and handing me a bottle of beer, it's like, why would I tip for that?
The worst one is when you're in a hotel. I remember I was in a hotel. Obviously, I don't like people touching my shit. So I know people realize I had a carry-on bag in an American hotel. So, like, you know, a shoulder satchel. And the guy's like, do you want me to take your bag? I'm like, no, I'll carry it, mate. I don't want, like, you know...
Insist on taking it to your room.
And they try to take it off my shoulder, like, can you please not touch my stuff? I'm like, no, I'll carry your bag for that. I don't want... Please don't touch my stuff.
And, like, you know...
I almost, like, wrestling out of my hand. It's like, don't touch my shit. Like, I'm not going to...
I hope people do understand where we're coming from here, of, like...
It's just so weird as a British person. Like, I don't want people touching me.
I don't want people touching my shit, and like I don't want, you know, it's just one of those things again. Like to move off this topic because we're getting, you know, a bit far in it, but like yeah, we're just repeating ourselves. But like, I just wish that the expectation for everyone was that everyone gets fairly paid by these companies, and not like, oh well, you know, you're relying on it to like live. Like no, if someone deserves a tip for good service, then tip them, but it shouldn't be an expectation because they can't afford to live. It's like people should just be able to afford to live off working a job. That's what a job is there for. It's just a shame, but yeah, that just shocked me a little bit. But we'll get back onto Pokemon.
Yeah. And just us having that 10-minute conversation, it like went on for 5 minutes longer. We expect it's still shorter than, as it is an argument that will just go on all day.
But let's
think of a few things that will get people more heated than that one.
Yeah, of course, because it's literally people's livelihoods at stake.
What makes it weird though is like it's been happening so long that it was like in Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, literally. What 19?
The opening to...
I think that might be 92 or something. Like it's around as that time anyway, early 90s. It's like this argument, even in films, has been happening as long as I've been alive.
Yep, a 30-year-old movie.
Probably longer. But even in like mainstream media, that argument has been around for as long as I've been alive. Yeah, I saw something shared the other day of like a Big Mac in America is like $6 or whatever, and a Big Mac in Denmark is like $5, and the person working at McDonald's in Denmark will get like 6 weeks paid time off, like a year maternity leave. They'll get medical insurance, they'll get, you know, healthcare, etc., etc. And they also get like 5 times more per hour. They'll get like $22 an hour compared to like whatever it is in America. It's like, yeah, real fucked up. But I mean, it's not just America that's fucked up, obviously. As I said, just like, I think that the living and minimum wage in the UK is a fucking disgrace as well, compared to the amount of inflation that's happened over the past 20 years. Like, the buying power of our living wage has gone down so much compared to what it was. Yeah. I think the anti-union thing is the thing that always shocks me. It's just that I never understand why anybody that's working class is anti-union. Like, how about we all come together and fight against big corporations for better rights for ourselves? No, that sounds ridiculous.
Now, why would I do that?
Wait, what? Why does that sound like a bad idea to anybody? It baffles me, that one. Oh, we just end up back in the start. I saw, you know, I shared a post that like IGN had made of, hey, we're going to finally unionize. Yeah.
People get mad about it. They get mad at the idea of people having like collective bargaining. Like people get annoyed. It's like when you see a thing like, should we pay McDonald's workers $14 an hour? Mm-hmm. So, well, I don't earn that much money. It's like, well, maybe you should.
Yeah, maybe you should also get paid $14 an hour. Maybe we all should. Maybe just yeah, the because I think I saw that. I was like, oh yeah, we're finally gonna try and unionize because there's been holy shit. I don't even know whether it's worth put on getting healed up or just dying, but yeah, just the fact that there's been many layoffs in the past few years for just people working in game journalism, and you'll just hear so many stories of like, yeah, I just got invited to a Zoom meeting out of nowhere and lost my job with no warning, I'm gone. And like that's happening to large percentages of large websites like IGN and stuff, just over and over again over the past few years especially. And then only like I think 80% of people at IGN signed that they wanted to join a union. I'm like,
the one that
all of your like co-workers and you know, people working in your industry are just getting like mad laid off all of the time with the 0 warning. Do you not want to fight for that?
The one that really cracked me up. That's what I was gonna say now. Nope, it flew out of my brain.
No.
It flew. Yeah, it's gone.
Also, yeah, Gordon, like we loved you, we leaved you. I'm not gonna miss Gordon. What a great pickup Weeping Bell was. When we were like, oh yeah, Weeping Bell, not bad. And just half an hour later, it dies, and I'm like, yeah, good riddance.
That's the beauty of the Nuzlocke. Like, you just don't want it anymore.
It's just the moment that, you know, I think it was, that just advised, like, please look at its moveset. Like, oh yeah, all it can do is learn grass moves. Okay, got it. Leave this Pokemon to the depths. I really like this gym, actually. I'm really liking just going into all these really cute rooms. And all of the trainer types are actually like coolly designed and stuff. I guess I would like it with just fairy type being my second favorite type. Like just, oh no, the energy ball. All the crit as well.
It took it.
One of my favorite tactics though. Perish, count and run.
It's like things though. It's like, that is so bullshit.
Yeah. It's so. The AI never learns to like switch out when it's Perish Song, and especially this trainer only has a Slurp Up anyway. It's just, okay, you've got one Pokemon and I'm just gonna Perish Song and run away.
I do like that as an idea though. Just what an absolute just fuck you to the AI.
Ice and Ghost are cool types. 100%. For me, I think it sums up like the two sides of me of the edgelord and the cutesiness of like, I really like things that are really super edgy or really super cute. I'm not one of those people who really dislikes any Pokemon type, but I definitely just, if I look at a lot of my favorites, it generally trends towards a lot of dark and fairy type Pokemon, and a lot of ones that just look like dogs or cats. Like, what's your favorite type of Pokemon? The dogs.
It could be me. It's like bugs, man. I hate bugs in real life, but man, like in Pokemon, like hell yeah.
You like a lot of grass types as well, don't you? Like, well, I know you like a lot of grass starters at very least.
A grass and bug.
That was all about just nature. Oh, have they gotten better about it nowadays of actually swapping before the Perish count? I remember just earlier Pokemon games, it's just the AI never thinks of just, well, I could swap out this Pokemon that's about to get Perish counted, but nah. All you need to do is swap the Pokemon. Nah, I'll leave it.
He's fine, don't worry about it.
The feline Pokemon get a pretty rough ride in Pokemon overall. I think.
Well, they're always like ugly and stuff, aren't they?
Like a lowland Persian and shit like this.
I feel like just Game Freak are obsessed with the idea of like those fancy cats. Well, they don't like the idea of like just a regular house cat. They want those fancy cats, like the ones you'd see like on like Dr. Evil's Knee or something.
Maybe that's why Meowscarada got so much love.
And there's like
I'm
big
just finally a cat that kind of just looks like a cool cat.
It's still on both back legs and it's trying to fuck me, but
Bug and Dark is a cool combo. Have we must have had a Bug Dark, yeah, because Venopede's Bug Dark, right?
I don't think Venipede is dark. I think Venipede's
No,
bug
wait.
poison.
Sorry, I'm thinking of the Scorpion one. No, but that's Poison Dark. It's a big bug, but it's Poison Dark.
Oh, yeah, Drapion.
Drapion,
It looks like a bug, yeah. Everyone always thinks
it is a big bug, but it's actually Poison Dark. I mean, Bug Dragon, it's there. The Bug Dragon is there, it's Flygon. It just isn't a bug type.
It should be.
Yeah. Its first form is bug, that makes sense, yeah. Yeah, because I was thinking in my head like Venipede and Whirlipede, but I meant Scorpio and Drapion. Brine, which one? HP is half or less, it will hit with double power. I've got Surf. And we need Surf, so... Don't you love Carl back in the day? Before HMs stopped being a thing? Or just, yeah, well, I guess we've got to keep Surf on a Pokemon. We've got to keep Strength on a Pokemon. Don't you miss those days?
Not particularly now.
No, you don't miss just being forced into having 8 moves on your party by default. Because we could have had Iron Tail, Crunch, Dig, and Rock Slide, but instead we had to keep Strength. Is that not great?
No, it sucks so much, and I will never get it when people are like asking for it back.
I think one nice way of doing it was when we were playing through Pokemon Infinite Fusion, where you get the HM and maybe like a city or two later get an item that means that you don't need the HM anymore. It replaces that use. I'm like, I get that, because then that feels like an upgrade and you can play through most of the game without needing that HM. But you also get that gratification of, oh, finally, I've like explored a little bit, found this optional item, and now I don't need Cut anymore. The item does it for me.
I kind of liked, I don't know what gen it was, but the one where you just get a Pokemon that... Oh, Sun and...
That was Sun and Moon, yeah, where you got the move... not the move Pokemon, the ride Pokemon, sorry.
Yeah, that was much more fun.
Some people argue online that HM is an actual thing that you should bring back.
Yep.
And I think most people just immediately swat that argument down of like, no, fuck off, we don't.
I thought the ride Pokemon were a good thing, because the HMs were great for like level gating, of we don't want you to go somewhere without first having done this. And a good way to do that is you have to have this move, and you can only get this move by beating this trainer.
And
we're just giving you a ride Pokemon.
You can only use the HM after you've beaten the gym nearby, yeah. But yeah, you can just completely omit that by... Oh, well, now we have ride Pokemon, so they're the same thing as HMs, but you don't need to have it on a Pokemon's moveset anymore.
Yeah, I much preferred that.
Yeah, I did too, and I mean, that's essentially the way that it's been since, right?
It was a much more elegant solution.
It was a way more elegant solution than HMs, and then we've kind of had a similar thing where in this one, to unlock the HMs, you literally had to get the Herba Mystica, the HM, by defeating the Giants, by defeating the Titan Pokemon.
You've got to remember that game kind of sucks.
But it doesn't. Like,
that system's fine.
I think there's a lot of good ideas in that game, whereas, you know, they're trying to do open world, they're trying to do more of an open structure to the gyms and all of that kind of thing and they are still making it so that, well, you've got HMs locked behind progress, but the progress is going and defeating Titan Pokemon in whatever order you want. And like, there's a lot of good and there's a lot of bad. And I think it makes me more frustrated with Scarlet and Violet is for every good decision they made, for example, being able to defeat the game in whatever way you want, there's also just something at the exact same time that's a different awful decision that completely negates the good decisions.
2 steps forward, 2 steps back.
Of the Pokemon way. Because Scarlet and Violet really overhauled a lot of stuff. And it really was kind of... It was more like, you know, 8 steps forward and 9 steps back. The Scarlet and Violet's design decisions. Like, there was a lot of good, but it was always equaled out by a lot of bad as well. It was a very frustrating game because at least with like, especially the base version of Sword and Shield, where they didn't add the DLCs that were a bit more open. They just had like that one really poorly. So there was 2 areas that were like open areas, and the rest of it was still really like weighed down by super linear design. And at least then it was just, well, Pokemon is getting very stale, and I could kind of cope with that. It's more annoying when they're trying to do different things and they're clearly making progress, but it's still a shit game. Yeah, I think ride Pokemon wise, like the Let's Go Pokemon, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee were really cool because yeah, you could just hop on top of an Arcanine if it was in your party, and like that was cool as shit. Or like, oh, you could ride on a Gyarados. Like all that stuff was really cool. And then yeah, Legends for me was one of those weird experiences of playing it through on my own for the first time. I was like, oh, it's kind of got some like Monster Hunter-y elements. This is some really cool ideas. And then playing it a second time on stream,
and you were like, fuck this.
Just the entire experience was like, no, none of this is fun anymore. Why is every single thing just, oh, go talk to somebody for 10 fucking minutes?
I remember, because I think I watched you play a little bit, because I was like, I've not played it, and you just said, watch it how much of this game is just walking up, talking to someone, get sent somewhere else, and just talk to them. It's like...
the second half of that game was go speak to someone for several minutes, walk into a loading screen, load into the area, go do one thing very quickly, go into loading screen back to town or wherever it was, speak to another person or the same person again, and rinse and repeat. And it was like, here, go do one thing. You've got 2 minutes of gameplay, multiple minutes of loading screens, and multiple minutes of like really poorly done conversation cutscenes. And that was just the loop of like, go here, do one thing, go back.
And by the look, it just didn't look fun.
Not by the end of it, no. Just, I had a lot of fun playing through once when everything felt new. But then the minute I was sitting there replaying it, breaking down the actual gameplay, it's like, none of this is fucking gameplay anymore. It was a very, very frustrating stream, I'll tell you that, or multiple streams.
I think I could tune in for a couple episodes to say Luke does not like he's having fun.
No. Yeah, there's no need to make geese eyes. I did enjoy some of the things that you did in there. I really enjoyed like how easy the catching was. I really enjoyed like some of, I'd say, like the more Monster Hunter elements to it and some of the exploration. I really did like the battle system, but sometimes the battle system did feel as though it made no sense. Just in terms of, you know, how often certain Pokemon would get moves above or below yours or whatever, but I think the difficulty, like the game was quite tough, especially the last couple of battles. Like, oh man, they actually made fighting the last battle really difficult, and I enjoyed that. But yeah, just the experience of playing that game for a second time just almost a night. And when people are like, oh no, but Legends was really good, I'm like, no, it wasn't. It has just as many flaws.
It was different.
If not more, but it was different. It just didn't feel like the exact same thing. And therefore it felt a bit fresh and fun. But the moment I played it the second time, it all just falls apart.
Which is a shame, because it's a lot of games like that.
Mm-hmm.
The instant you replay, you're like, oh no, that's it.
Yeah, it just, I was like walking away from Legends Arceus going, man, yeah, I'm gonna stream this because this was actually like a really good, fresh experience for Pokemon, and then streamed it and it just ruined it for me. Oh, it turns out this game is full of awful game design decisions, just absolutely dreadful moments in that game, and it just ruined it all for me.
It's not a game I ever see myself playing myself. It's one of I don't like saying this, but just it's a game I saw and went, okay, I watched someone do a playthrough of it. I don't need to play it. That's not great, but just the idea of like, it didn't look fun. It didn't look like you were having any fun.
Like, I was at the start of streaming it, but by the end of it, I wasn't. By the end of streaming that game, so I remember those last couple of streams just being an absolute slog of me just sitting here going, why am I loading into like this new area to do one thing and then go back and talk to somebody again for multiple minutes at a time? Why is this the entire stream is just go here, do one thing, and then also the gating of progression of like, well, Lucas, you didn't sit there and just farm Pokemon for 5 hours to level up your like rank, so therefore you're locked off for story progression.
Just hearing you do it is like, just this sounds like it sucks.
Because they did that thing of, well, every time you catch a multiple of a Pokemon, like, it updates its Pokemon rank, Pokedex rank and whatnot.
Oh, yeah, it was baby's first Monster Hunter of like, oh yeah, learn about the monster, but it's like fighting monsters in Monster Hunter is a lot of fun. There's tactics and, you know, you have to learn its patterns and stuff. Pokemon is just, you select one of 4 options for 5 minutes.
And a lot of it was just, level up this Pokemon by having 50 of them. Okay, I guess. So cool, I'll go catch 50 Bidoof. Okay, well you got like a Bidoof Pokedex level up. Okay, so that boosts up your entire like Pokemon Hunter rank a little bit. So what else do you want me to do? Well, wouldn't it be great if you want to like caught 50 Starlies as well? And 50 Psyducks, and you're just there like, okay, and then like, if you don't get your rank up, you cannot progress the story. So you don't even have the option to grind up Pokedex ranks, you have to.
Same thing like that. Monster Hunter, that works because you want to hunt the monsters as well. The rewards you get are items, new weapons, new armor sets. What do you get in Pokemon? Well, you've already got the Pokemon.
You get story progression. And like, yeah, I did really enjoy some moments of the game. Like, the highlights of Pokemon Legends Arceus are very good. But just, that is totally a game, 100%, where it got ruined because I played it on stream a second time. Like, if I'd just left it the first time, I would have agreed with most people of like, no, Legends Arceus was really fun and different and unique.
Yeah. Just something different. We appreciate that. You know?
But just
always got to give Game Freak the game.
The flaws start glaring out when you play it a second time. Because all of like the fun, unique qualities of it, they wear thin. It's just that's one experience where I'm just like, man, I can see what people mean sometimes when, you know, when people get mad, we're like, oh, well, you're a streamer, how could you complain about, like, just getting paid to play games? It's like, that is one time where I'm like, no, I see it.
This game is not fun to play. Yeah. It doesn't reflect my time.
Yeah, I'd 100% take a new one. And I hope that they learn from the mistakes and stuff. My general feedback with all Pokemon is, I think a lot of Pokemon has, like, the last few Pokemon games, whether it be, like, the Legends game, the, you know, Scarlet and Violet, the Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, they all have different ideas. They all have massive, gaping flaws. And I think the biggest issue is just that they don't take their time with any of them anymore.
Well, they haven't got time.
No, they don't.
They've got to get that anime soul.
It's like, rather than, oh, well, we need to get a mainline game out every 3 years, it's, no, we need to get 3 different games out in 3 years. Because we've got to do a Let's Go game, and we've got to do a Legends game, and we've got to make remake a game. And obviously the remake of Diamond and Pearl was just like farmed out to a fucking mobile game dev. And not many people I saw at least liked the remakes of Diamond and Pearl at all.
So it's that weird like shitty chibi style.
Yeah. And
doesn't look. It adds nothing to the game.
I'd argue the Diamond and Pearl just look better still. And then it was also just one of those things of like, they also just remade Diamond and Pearl and none of the Platinum stuff. And arguably, Platinum just fixed a ton of Gen 4. And then they basically took none of that into account and just made Diamond and Pearl with all its flaws again. Yeah, it's just one of those weird worlds that we live in where Pokemon is like the most profitable thing in the world, but no one wants to actually spend time to make any of their games properly good.
Well, that takes effort.
It does. It takes time and effort and money, yeah.
We want money now.
And that's the thing, they probably won't ever stop until a Scarlet and Violet doesn't sell 25 million copies.
Which it will, because it's Pokemon.
Yeah.
There's always the joke, isn't it? It's like, why don't they make it better? It's like, why they don't need to. It's Pokemon.
Most people agree that, generally speaking, the Switch era of mainline Pokemon games has been very poor. And then you go over to when Nintendo release like the top 10 best-selling Switch games, and both Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet are like 5th and 6th or something like that, or 4th and 5th in the top 10 best-selling Switch games of all time. I think it must be around that, because I think it's like, what, Mario Kart 8, Animal Crossing New Horizons, Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, and then I think it's Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet after that.
Yeah, that's a pretty...
It's just wild when you think, oh, 4 really acclaimed and loved games, and then 2 Pokemon games that people are kind of just not very happy with. And that's where we're at. Yeah. Because Pokemon just sold. And I, you know, Carl and I are both sitting here, we bought those games, we are part of that problem.
I'll tell you what though, I don't fucking play them much. I've not bought the DLC. It's the first time in a while I've not
bought the DLC, I play the games online competitively.
Well, that's you've got that, you're in now. Like, you're at that point now where you just see Pokemon as numbers on a screen, and you know what? That's what Pokemon should be.
Should we just get a big nugget rather than a Master Ball?
Well, to be fair, Master Ball might be useful in case you get... Is there any, like, roaming legendaries in this?
I feel like post-game there is.
Depends how long you'll be playing. Like, just having a Master Ball, like, if you see a Pokemon, I want it.
Yeah, but it's a big nugget, Carl.
True.
I kind of want to see what happens just if I select big nugget.
What's going to happen is, like, I'm going to be, like, really annoyed that you picked it, but there's nothing I could do about it, I suppose.
But I wonder if the game goes like, no, you don't want a big nugget. You want a Master Ball. I'm going to see what happens.
Now, what's the word?
Give us a big nugget.
No, there you go, no Master Ball for you.
Oh, as a bonus, you can have whatever you didn't pick as well. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, there's no way the game doesn't give you the Master Ball.
It'd be funny if it fucking did
It would
that.
be funny if I just picked like big nugget and it went, you know what? Fine, you fucking dumbass asshole. You know what? If you want a big nugget, take a big fucking nugget. I was just curious of like, is the game? Because I was like, surely a Pokemon game's not going to be mean enough to not give you the Master Ball. So I thought he might do that classic Nintendo thing of, if you pick the bad option, it's like, are you sure you want to do that?
I've always liked that though. Just like, that's like for kids.
Yeah.
You know, there might be little kids playing. It's like, are you sure? Are you sure you're not an idiot?
It does it in a lot of Zelda games where a character will be like, oh, do you want to help me out? And you can just be like, no. Like, no, I think you should reconsider. I think you want to help me out. No. Come Come on, Link, you want to help me out. And Zelda's just there like, I know that you want to say yes, Link, until you say yes.
Like, funny joke, Link. Really funny, let's go. It's basically a Simpsons moment, isn't it? Of like, I told you I'm not a pilot, and I told you, you fly boys crack me up.
Just Link, you want to save the world, don't you? No. Come on, Link. I know that you do.
That's an amazing one. That's actually amazing. Of like, you want to save the world, right? No.
There's always a, will you help me save the world from Ganondorf? No. Come on, Link, please. You know you want to.
That's actually incredible. I love that. Why do you want to save the world? No, I'm good.
Yeah, because it's always, oh, will you help me save the world from Ganondorf? And like, I remember in Ocarina of Time, it's something along those lines of just like, oh, can you, like, even though you've come to tell me about Ganondorf as a problem, it's like, yeah, this guy needs to be stopped. Will you help me? And you just be like, no.
That's all you about.
Come on, Link, please.
So I'll tell you about it. I'm gonna fucking do it about it. That's your job. You've got the army, not me.
I still think it's great that just the ending of that game is Link went back in time and just ratted him out.
That's what I'd do. I love that, like, snitch.
And then Link went back in time and just snitched on Ganondorf. End of game, Link's a hero.
Like, snitching is always morally correct. You always get big rewards. In video games, it is.
Yeah.
There's never like a downside to snitching in video games. And even like,
say to Grim, like, I don't think it's a bad thing of like owning almost all Pokemon games and only finishing some. Like, it's your prerogative. If you're not enjoying a game that you've bought, just don't finish it. You're not enjoying your time, don't waste it.
Everything we had in our Discord earlier, didn't we? Of just oh, I don't know how you go all in on your interests. It's like, why would you? If I like something, of course I want to go all in.
Like, if I'm not enjoying something, just stop doing it. Apart from like bathing, that's one thing. I was like, if you're not enjoying bathing, continue.
Yeah,
please continue to be hygienic. Because like, you can imagine just like one day we just have like a fan meet and greet.
So
and
you
just
told
no one's bathed and no one's showered. You told me that if I don't enjoy doing something, don't do it. It's like, no. If you don't enjoy getting a bath, still go get a bath.
You've got to do it. There's some things you've got to do even if you don't like doing it. Like going to bed early sometimes.
I mean, I enjoy bathing. I enjoy getting a bath, but I don't do it very often. I normally just get a quick shower, and it's like I don't necessarily enjoy getting a shower. I don't hate it, but it's just like, eh. I have admittedly got a tiny, like, annoyingly small cubicle shower, so that probably doesn't help.
That does sound like it would suck.
Yeah. It's like, it's not even a square. It's one of those ones that's like, you know, Carl, it's like rounded off. So you don't even get a full, like, little tiny one-person cube. Like, you know in The Sims, where you get the one where it's like, it's 1 by 1 square, and they're there like, oh yeah, like, mine's not even that, it's like the rounded one on half of it, so that you get like 2/3 of a square.
Well, the weirdest thing though is that there's so much space for a shower in your bathroom.
Yeah.
There's space for a better shower.
So much space, and like it's a rented house, so I can't change it. But yeah, it's just so frustrating because it's like it's a big bathroom with a tiny ass shower, but I don't want to pay the water bill to get a bath every fucking time I want to wash myself. I mean, I interchange bathing as like, that's why I said getting a bath, because to me bathing is getting a shower or being in a bath or whatever. Like,
oh, it's same.
It's just washing yourself, but it's like, I do define the difference to me is like both of them are bathing, but one is, you know, getting a shower and one is getting a bath. That's where I'll find the difference. But if someone says to me like, just make sure that you bathe, I would assume that they're meaning just make sure that you get washed in some form or another. Like when people say bathing, I don't think it's only being inside of a bathtub. But when you mention, like, oh, it should be enjoyable, it's like, I agree, a bath should be enjoyable. But yeah, there's some hefty water bills you're building up. Oh. I mean, fair enough if you don't want to like play on your Switch. I'm almost the opposite side of like I've got a Series S and a Switch, and yes, technically like there's a PS5 in my house. It's not my PS5 technically, but you know I get to use a PS5 as well. But more than either of the consoles, I find myself playing on the Switch more just for the convenience of.
It's always there. Vampire 5 is always waiting for you.
I can always just pull out my Switch and play. Like, I can play on my TV. I can play just handheld. I can put it in like my little Switch holder above my bed and play it in bed. Whereas, you know, specifically when I'm on a console, I feel like I have to, you know, I'm like sitting up, playing on a TV, giving it my full attention. I can kind of like play my Switch in whatever way I want. Yeah, I spend way more time on my Switch than I do on either console, I think. And I play Destiny on my Xbox, so realistically, that should default to the thing I play the most.
Can you imagine if you got Destiny on your Switch? That'd be game over, wouldn't it? We never see you again. I think
if Destiny 2 continues in like a decent state after the, you know, the final shape happens and it's like it's the end to the light and dark saga that we've been doing for the last 10 years. And they've been saying, like, you know, it's not the end of Destiny 2, it's still going to keep going. But we're a bit unsure about where it's going. But if it continues to be alright, and then they say, like, the new Switch is coming out and Destiny's on it, it's like, then my life is just dead. I'm just gone. It's like, I can't be trusted to have portable Destiny. My life will disappear. It's like one of the main things of just like, oh, you could try and get like one of those like portable PC consoles of like a Steam Deck or the ROG Ally or one of those ones. I should not be trusted to be able to play I should not have access to portable Deck.
I do love those where it's just, oh, do you not want to get a Steam Deck? It's like, not really, no, because you don't have Smash on it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the entire argument. And just
does it have Smash or Pokemon? It's like, well, you could boot up these emulators and no, does it actually just out of the box? Can I just go and play Smash Bros? No. Again, talking about that thing earlier of like having all the problems with emulation and stuff. Of like, does it just work out the box?
So you got to download your drivers. It's like, no. As soon as they say you got to download drivers, I'm like, fuck this.
I mean, I find it hard to believe that we would go the entirety of, at very, very least, this financial next year without us seeing a new Switch. Like, I could maybe see them being like, well, we'll announce Switch 2 this year, and maybe it comes out next February or March. I almost definitely think it's going to be 2024, but I can't see it going past like end of next financial year for Nintendo.
It makes too much sense.
Everyone's just at that point now where like it's not even that people are just asking for a new Switch, it's that people are expecting a new Switch at this point. And I don't think there's many things that they can do apart from like releasing an entirely new SKU, which they're not going to do because they're so close to releasing a new console. I can see them maybe dragging it out and giving a lower price point to the Switch just to maybe try their best efforts to make sure that it sells more than a PS2 ever did. So that Nintendo can be like, yeah, we did it. We are the best-selling console of all time. Because I can 100% see like, oh, Switch 2 comes out this year, and then they do deep, heavy discounts on a Switch 1 just to be like, fuck it, we've got to sell like 2 million more of these things before we beat the PS2.
Comes with a free copy of Mario Kart 8. Ooh.
And there's obviously some people might say that, oh, they could just name this like the Switch Pro and it count, but I don't think that that's stupid. I think they'll very much be like, this is a brand new console. I don't think they're gonna do like something similar where they did with the Wii U of confusing people of whether it's a new console or not.
Super Switch, let's go.
The Super Switch is just the perfect idea. Like, just call it the Super Nintendo Switch.
No, it's the Switch, but it's Super now. It's better.
And if anyone ever, like, you know, I don't know how people would get confused by that, but yes, like, maybe someone might, but you know, it was the Nintendo Entertainment System and then the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. It's like, it just makes too much sense, but if they were really being very pragmatic, they're probably just going to be like, it is just the Nintendo Switch 2. Because we do not want to risk fucking it up like we did with the Wii. $123 days. Oh. Yeah, that's more than me. That's for sure. I think I'm on about 40-something days.
What's going to happen now is Lucas is going to go to Jenna and say we need to get our numbers up.
Somebody's played more Destiny than me. It's like, it is funny because I have quite a few friends on my like Xbox that are just, oh, we raided together one time and added each other on Xbox. And it's funny because I'm like, I think I'm ranked like 7th or something on the list of my friends of like who's played the most Destiny. And you get to that point where it reaches like my top 5 friends of playtime, and all of a sudden it goes from like 40 days to 90.
And it's like there,
because it's just those few people that just live inside of it. And I'm like, yeah, and I think the person on the top of my friends list was like 200 days in it.
At that point, just he lives in Destiny.
495 days. Like, fuck. So, like, at that point, it's just, I'm not even going to attempt to compete. When you see that people have got hundreds of days up on you, it's like, well, it took me 10 years to get to this point. I'm not going to be... Well, I guess more like 6 or with Destiny 2. Yeah, just the idea that Destiny 2's been out, what, 6 to 7 years in that range, and someone spent nearly 2 years in it. Like, yeah, a lot of that time might have been just idling in menus and stuff.
It's almost more impressive.
Even still, it's just crazy.
I was speaking to a friend of mine. They were like, oh man, I remember once I had to delete a mobile game off my phone because when I turned my phone off once, I realised that the life bar was like screen burned into my phone.
Oh my God.
It's like, do you know how much you have to do something on your phone for it to be burned into the screen on a phone?
On a phone screen, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like a plasma TV. Jesus. Yeah, that's a lot. So, to just end up today, I just want to see what Pokemon we can get next. So, Route 15. Oh! There's a couple that I would be very happy to find. Because we can get, like, I presume this is in a water area. We can get, like, Basculin, Floatzel, Poliwag, Poliwhirl. But some of the other options available, presumably in like the grass and the leaves, there is Fungus, Lefkey, Lombre, Mightyena, Murkrow, Pawniard, and Therapy, and Watchard.
I of all, Ponyard's probably the one that you want to get because like Steel Dark is
Ponyard or Klefki.
Yeah, Klefki is just the wall, just setting
Yeah.
up dual screens at the start of like a big match. But kind of like Mighty Anna as well. It's like woof.
I like Mighty Anna. It's just a bit of a.
It's a bit shit, yeah.
It's a bit of a meh Pokemon. But I do like Mighty Anna because obviously, it's just again, it's a cheat code for me. Like it's a dog Pokemon. It's quite easy for me to enjoy it. Okay, so we've just got hope. Get that Klefki. That's the one I'm really hoping for. Get me. I've lost my keys. Let's find them.
It's such a good idea for a Pokemon. It's like I'm all in on that. It's the keys. Oh, for fuck's sake!
It's a very good Pokemon.
But that's what makes it such a shit Pokemon for me.
Yeah. Pokemon's looking sus.
Man, like how old did like Among Us stuff get?
I mean,
like, just the meme.
I think if we found like a fresh group to play with that didn't know the game as much as they did, I still think I'd really enjoy playing Among Us.
I mean the memes.
No, but yeah, like the meme side of things, like man, jeez, like the internet wore me thin on Among Us very quickly. But yeah, like I still, as tired as I am of the meme side of Among Us, I could still very much see myself playing with a group of people that are like amateurs at the game and really having fun. It's just that, we reached that point, we've said it before, of like, oh well, we played with a group where they were looking up online of like all of the strategies and watching Twitch streams all the time and stuff, so it would be like, oh well, we would try to, pretend to do something and fake something and be an imposter, and it'd be like, well, that's impossible to fake that one, so you're the one.
It'd be like an immediate, as soon as you walk the wrong direction, they just like immediately call and go, okay, Carl's the imposter, because I got this task and it's impossible for it. The direction he's going would not be the task that he needs. It's like, at what point, why is that fun?
And it's like, they just got to a point where, like, that's great for them, because they feel accomplished for spotting out people, but it doesn't make it fun to play as, like, someone who doesn't know what's going on. But chat, let us know what Fungus's nickname should be, apart from just Among Us. I'm not naming it Among Us. Call it Goose. So like that's a super good Pokemon to catch. But I just don't like Among Us.
It's not great, is it?
It's really great. That's the problem.
Well, I mean, it's not great for us.
So great. No, I'll take numbers from chat. Everyone get your ideas in. And I'm just we'll just use a random number generator. I don't want to make decisions.
That's not your job.
That isn't my job. My job is to provide commentary, not make hard decisions. So I'll give everyone... You can have 20 more seconds to put in nickname ideas for Among or Fungus. I presume it's gonna fucking stay alive as an Among Us.
Well, it's not gonna die.
It's not gonna die because it's a fucking Among Us.
This shit's gonna beat the Elite Four. You have to get a tattoo with it.
I still like the idea though that we're gonna lose all of our Pokemon. And we're gonna have to go back and go get that Mega Lucario from that gym.
So, and Lucario's gonna be like, so, you come back to me, eh? But really?
That's the thing. It's like, if we lose all of our Pokemon, we did just abandon a Mega Lucario. We just refused to go get it.
And the thing is, it'll probably just be really good.
Mm-hmm.
And you probably made like this game considerably harder by not getting it.
Oh yeah, probably. Okay then, let's take those 5 names. Okay. Oh, just number 1. Okay, so Goose. Easy enough. We spent all that time when it could have just started out as Goose. I bet you this is Klefki.
If it is.
No, it wasn't. It's mine.
Okay. Oh, my Anna, I wanted that.
It's okay. Just a mighty Anna.
Just a Mighty Anna? I think you'll find that's very insulting to Mr. Mighty Anna.
One of my favourite things, actually, was taking a Mighty Anna through my Omega Ruby run. Because the moment it was, like, on, like, the 3rd route in the game of just... Oh, did you know if you chain, like, these Pokemon that pop up out of the grass, then you're more likely to get, like, better versions of them with better abilities and better moves and stuff?
Oh, that's cool.
Second one, just chain, like... I found, like, a bunch of different Poochyena and got, like, a hidden ability Poochyena with, like, Ice Fang or some shit. Just in the 3rd route with, like, really good IVs and stuff and took it through the rest of the game.
Which actually sounds like Super Boss.
Mm-hmm. I can't... That might not be exactly like the move. It might not have been Ice Fang. I can't remember what. But I remember it being like, oh, hey, here's, like, it's got an egg move, good IVs, and its hidden ability. I was like, that took me like an hour. And I'm in the 3rd route of the game. Like, this system seems super broken, and it really kind of is.
Because I think it's broken if you know what you're doing.
But if you just committed to sitting there and grinding, catching, like, well, battling like 30 of them, it's, you know, similar to, like, just, oh, well, a lot of Pokemon are quite easy to shiny hunt. You just got to be committed to go and battling like 100 of them in a row. Yeah, the decks now of that stuff. Yeah, it's like it was really interesting to be like, oh well, each route I just picked like a Pokemon that I've not used before, and just got a really good version of them, and just ended up with like a completely different team than I would normally run through Ruby with. But they were all really, you know, they're good IVs, good abilities, good like extra like egg moves and stuff. I was like, oh, that's a cool idea. Let's take out the highest level. Malamar. Darth Inky. Put in the back. I'm like, well, we might as well put in the lower level Pokemon and evolve. Fungus. Does it evolve and what can it learn? That's the next question. Is it Victory Bell all over again? The answer is no, because Amoonguss can learn every fucking move.
It's like, its move pool is actually insane. Like, it shouldn't be as big as it is.
Yeah.
Well, see, as well, they could balance it by just taking away the fact, like, don't let it learn, like, 14 different support moves.
I mean, just the fact that it learns, like, Rage Powder on its own is incredible, but... yeah, they have to give it all the options on top of that, like Spore and Rage Powder. Like, did you really need to give any Pokemon those 2 moves?
Like, Spore alone, like, Spore should be like, it's the Parasect thing of, you can only give it to shit Pokemon.
Well, it makes sense, because it's a big mushroom.
But it's also, it's like one of the most powerful moves in the game, you should not be given...
What, it's, what are its stats? So it's got, like... Oh, I'm looking at Fungus then. I was like, its stats are really bad. Why has he got like a 45 in defense? I know that's Fungus I'm looking at. That's the thing. Its moves that it does learn are actually... it learns Rage Powder at 54 and Spore at 62.
But even then, like, that's at 62, done.
Yeah, but are we going to get all Pokemon to level 62 before battling the Elite Four?
Probably not this playthrough, no, but...
Yeah, which is at that point, why do we want it in our team?
That's true.
Okay, what are the Elite Four like? 65, 63, 65, 60. All of them have mostly level 63s and then a level 65. All of the Elite Four only have 4 Pokemon.
It's so weird.
And then, admittedly, Diantha has level 64 to 68 and has 6 Pokemon. All of which are Kalos Pokemon, apart from Gardevoir because of Mega Gardevoir, but Mega Gardevoir is still a Kalos Pokemon. Yeah, that basically means we'll only really have access to Spore if we are soft capping ourselves.
And not to mention
like
as well,
the Elite Four.
It means as well you have to just use this a lot. You have to commit to using Amogus, Lucas. Do you want to do that?
We'd have to commit to it, and it would have to. It would only get Spore when we hit Elite Four, essentially. But yeah,
do you really want?
That's the thing. Yeah, Amogus here is 114 HP, 70 defense, 80 special defense, and then attack and special attack of 85. Thing is, 30 speed is like, okay, that's not great. But then you think, oh, but in a Trick Room team, that makes it even better. It's not even got a middling speed where it doesn't make it useful. Like, no, that makes it so useful for Trick Room. And then, what are its abilities? It has Effect Spore, so 10% chance of getting hit to do, like, paralysis, poison, or sleep. And then Regenerator. That's where the real bullshit comes in. Its hidden ability is when the Pokemon switches out of battle, it restores up to 1/3 of its health.
I forgot that it gets that, so you just keep switching it out when it gets 1/3 of its health back and comes back in and just spores again.
On, like, a Pokemon with good defenses, great HP, and it's got Synthesis, Rage Powder, Spore, Toxic, Giga Drain, Ingrain. Oh. And that's just level up moves. Like, dear God. It's got Gastro Acid as well, which eliminates the target's ability.
Just in case, like, you want to be like, fuck you.
Yeah. It's got everything. Admittedly, not the best typing. Grass Poison, still. It's like, they didn't need to give it so much.
Did it need to be this strong, Lucas? Yeah, the answer is, of course, yes.
Yeah, it's antithetical to Regenerator, but it does have Ingrain, where if you've got just an Effect Spore one. Bear in mind, like, I guess back in Gen 6, it was a bit harder to get hidden ability Pokemon. So if you just got an Effect Spore one, like with a Rocky Helmet or something, and it has Ingrain, that's a lot better. But yeah, it's not the best to put on a Regenerator version of, but it's definitely not what it was now of, like, fuck it, just you get an ability patch all the time. Like, no, there isn't just easy ability patches to get in back in Gen 6. It was quite difficult to get hidden ability Pokemon. But yeah, about Amogus over.
You got one now. You got to use it, Lucas. Do you like that thing you joked about? Like, you have to just like play the meta. It's happening. Look.
Oh, I'm gonna have to. I'm under no illusion that I'm at some point not going to have to. But right now, while I'm in like Pokeball tier on ranked, I can get away with doing some like weird shit. And that's why I'm only winning half of my battles, because I'm trying to do weird shit. But eventually I'm going to have to just lean into the Farigiraf and the Fluttermane and the Urshifus and the... I'm going to have to, if I want to win, if I actually want to sit there and say that I won tournaments, I'm going to have to lean into that stuff.
I don't think it's even about like winning, it's if you just want to be competitive.
I think you can be like competitive with a lot of Pokemon, but I think if you actually want a chance of like sitting there and going like, oh well, Lucas got to go to Pokemon World tournament, like, yeah, you can guarantee that I'm gonna have to pull out just mostly meta stuff, and maybe, as you say, probably gonna have to be, if I want to be different, it's gonna be I have to lean into making one Pokemon on my team different, similar to like the Pachirisu.
Yeah.
Like the very famous Pachirisu of like, you can probably get away with making like one Pokemon be a gimmick weird Pokemon, but not all 6 of them.
And the beauty of that is as well.
Fun. Yeah, like 100% you can have fun with it, and it's one of those more annoying things, right? Of to get anywhere in a tournament, you have to commit to your team, which means that, well, I could probably do a decent amount against most teams, being like a weird anti-meta, a little bit of a gimmick team, throw people off because it's not the usual. But that works once.
Of course, yeah.
Like, that works one time, but then you've got to sit there with the entire team and people analysing your team over and over again in a tournament, seeing exactly what you're doing. It's like, oh, well, we've figured out that this person's just, like, you know, doing, like, a stockpile Numal with a body press Daxbun. Like, okay, but the moment they know that, they can just figure out a way to shut that down really easily.
Just turn one taunt, because they're going to have this Pokemon that has taunt.
Like, you can get away with it online when it's just one battle versus a random, but when it's in a tournament setting, you've just got a 0 chance of getting away with it, because if people don't see it coming, they'll see it coming after you've done one battle.
It's the shame, isn't it? It's like every Pokemon's going to have taunt, every Pokemon's going to have, like, protect, because you need it.
It's why, yeah, Intimidate being so prominent in the meta is why I found Charger Bug actually really useful, is just tanky Charger Bug with 3 special attackers is actually done me relatively well. Like, Sylveon and Charger Bug has been a really, like, effective combo for me for so many battles, like, just because so many Pokemon use Intimidate. And as well, Charger Bug and Sylveon don't rely on priority moves, so Farigiraf is another one. Like, just, I've encountered a lot of Farigiraf where their ability is stopping priority moves. I've seen quite a few in DDDs set in Psychic terrain to stop priority moves working. And then, yeah, just a lot of Intimidate. And all 3 of those is just a little Charger Bug Sylveon combo doesn't care about any of those things.
It's like the idea of just Charger Bug. Like, Charger Bug's always there.
It's just battery. Charging everyone up.
No, he's there. You should give him a little flag. I miss that thing, Joe. You could make your Pokemon wear a hat, and that's all you could do, just make them wear one hat.
So the thing is, if you just sat there, and even, like, they wouldn't work in a combo, I guess. But just, if you gave the ability battery to, like, Plusle and Minun, you could have the ability of just battery and then give them a helping hand, which was their signature move at the time. Like, battery plus helping hand is just really gonna get a Pokemon quite far.
Can it not learn helping hand anymore?
No, as I mean, like, it learns helping hand if you gave them battery rather than plus and minus.
Oh, yeah, sorry, plus or minus. I thought you were still talking about Charge Bug for a second.
No, plus or minus, like, yeah, even Plusle and Minun, which are just, you know, memed upon for how bad they are. Like, if you gave them the ability battery, they'd probably have a niche.
Yeah, just give them that helping hand, protect, battery.
Mm-hmm.
They're really fast, so you could probably give them something stupid like, you know, Thunder Wave for support. Like Thunder Wave support, helping hand, protect.
Yeah. So, like, it's just a shame to see Pokemon like Plusle and Minun just almost completely forgotten about. Like, even in the generation they came out, they were basically forgotten about.
That's the thing, is that they were exclusively made for doubles and they could only power each other up, and it's just like one Earthquake.
Yeah, one Earthquake just annihilates them. And even when they were powered up, they weren't as powerful as just, like, have, like, a Tyranitar on your team. Like, even if you lent into the gimmicks super hard, even if you just put your entire team revolved around Plusle or Minun, they still weren't as good as just have a Tyranitar.
Nope. It's kind of dumb.
Yeah, I have always preferred Minun over Plusle. Something about mine. Yes.
It's because it's just like it's a little bit sad. It's negative. As a millennial, it really speaks to me to have just the negative Pokemon.
I think the shiny one that I have got is the Minun as well, not the Blustle. Chilling in a box somewhere because, like, what's the point in even training it?
That's the thing as well. It's not. I remember it's like when we played through Heart Gold and Shield. And, oh, we found like a Ledia. Like, oh, can we do anything with Ledia? You know, it's memed on. We looked at its stats and went, no.
It's just like Ledipper and Ledian get.
Like,
They're
even as a
so
meme.
hard done by. They don't get any good abilities. They barely get any good moves. They've got awful stats.
It's like even as a meme, it's not worth doing.
Where's the Mega Ledian with just 80 hands? Just throw in all of them. Anyway, I could rant about things like this all night.
You should do it. Make it a series.
I should. But yes, thank you all for joining. Remember to join Carl tomorrow for Metal Gear Rising, I presume, Carl.
I am actually on the. I feel like I'm just coming down with something. I had such a tickly sore throat. You probably be coughing the entire time.
Well, Carl normally on Friday.
I should be fine. Like, I'm all right, but I just feel really run down today for some reason. Like I've been just had a tickly cough all day. I've been like every 5 minutes leaning off to sound like. It could just be I'm a bit tired. I'd have to wake up early this morning for the dentist and maybe just having a rub like someone's fucking hands in my mouth for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Got me a tickly throat.
Oh, I mean, I feel like those Pokedex entries is similar to like the Mimikyu one of like, it's so sad that you just want to root for that little Pokemon. You just want to root for Minun. Poor Minun. It's trying its best, goddammit.
The thing is though, is it?
It's trying its best, Carl. It's just not great at cheerleading, okay?
Yeah, okay. You know what? I get that. Fine.
But yeah.
It's trying its best. But is its best good enough? No.
So thank you everyone for joining, and I hope everyone has a lovely night, day, evening, every one of those things, wherever you are. Thank you everyone.